The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it a go stop, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their job. So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday to those in television land. Happy Friday to our silent supporters. Happy Friday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much as usual for tuning in. Really appreciate each and everyone's continued support. Tonight's topic is Suppressive Tax Hike. I'm with your host, Mystic Sensation and Melting Pot. Without any delay, let me just welcome those in the chat. Dorothy McCoy, Carla Ibanks, Patel Cruikshan, Bloomy Coleman, Kelvin Wiley, Falmouth Girl 2, our channel member, Beyond the Echo, Tara Bless Up Yourself, Jonathan Johns, Rennie Swaby, Peter Aston, John Gotti, Beverly, just jumped, Beverly, Rosa, Cecile Phillips, June, Blendon Virgo, Daphne Bryan, Rosemary Forbes, Yvette Lewin, God bless up yourself. Thank you so much as usual for tuning in, and let me just send an umbrella bless up to all our channel members and also to all our moderators. Patricia, bless up yourself. Without any delay, I'm gonna hand over to.
All right, thank you, honey. Sister Tara, big up yourself, Sister Tara. Yes, I want to say, a wonderful welcome to all the persons in the chat, all of our listeners, right, and particularly those persons who just joined the membership. We, really appreciate that. Without any delay, let me just have Brother Melting Pot meet and greet his wonderful sisters and brother. Melting Pot.
Tell my brother, enough respect. Enough greetings and blessings. Same way to everyone. Mystic family, we large, Yeah, man, Mystic family, large. Big up everyone. Yeah, I want to say special shout out to the people down at Ground Zero as usual. Yeah. And special mention to Winifred in the chat. Enough respect, sister. Yeah, Star Girl and Reggae Girl, big up same way. Yeah, Glenn Samuels, enough respect, same way. Because I know, always a shout out Melting Pot, so I have to big up same way. Done? Yeah. And big up to my fans them in Jamaica. All over, blood and fire comrade. Yeah, me not going to name out no special community tonight. You don't know, so on our comrade straight. All over, big up, enough respect. Yeah. To the host, Sir Lord Byron, enough respect, sir. And to the technical director, Lady Anne Marie with the gold finger behind the scene, enough respect, same way. Yeah. So without any further ado, I just hand back the floor to the host in the car tonight, mad. All right.
All right. You know, sir. All right. So we have to get a feedback. Yeah, we have to make sure that we are addressing the issues, right? And we have some burning issues. One of them, right, of course, is the suppressive, right, tax hike by this, what should I say, vicious Babylonian government, right? Vicious. It's a kill to poor people, and yet, right, there is such a protection for the corporate entity, but such a kill for the poor, right? This government, right, totally desolate the middle class, and have the middle class totally eroded. And this is what we are facing as it relates to Andrew Holness administration. Now, let us zoom in on what he has to say. And of course, Mark Golding will give a response as to that. I mean, when you look at it, Jamaica, to the fact that we had just gone through a Melissa, such a devastation, not even 4 months, solid 4 months. But here it is that we are facing another category 5, Melissa, as it relates to tax, right? Suppressive tax hike. It is vicious. It is vicious, and it just can't get any more wicked than this. This is really vicious. Without any delay, let us play the first clip, right? You are going to hear his justification where that is concerned. So let us tune in.
We don't take taxation lightly. It is literally the last resort. But we have to present to the people of Jamaica a credible budget, meaning that the people looking on what we propose can have confidence that what we're doing will be to their benefit and will prevent future need for more severe taxation. So what we're going to do now, as the Minister of Finance will present, would be to put in place a package that does not impact the poor, that improves our health and general well-being, in addition to securing the revenues for us to be able to address the new demands placed on the government by Hurricane Melissa. I think the public should remember that the damage as assessed by international agencies with a high level of credibility is approximately almost $9 billion of damage, more than 40% of our GDP. So I don't believe that anyone could reasonably expect that we could present a budget without even a limited tax package. So we're not going to dwell on the taxation. It is something that, as I said, it is the last resort. We have gone 10 budgets without any net new taxes. And the reason for the taxation is not because of government profligacy, not because of wastage or bad policy. It is because of a super phenomenal event, the third most powerful hurricane that the earth has ever produced, struck Jamaica and has caused significant damage, created more expenditure than we can accommodate in our general revenue, and therefore we have to go to some taxation measures. So I think, however, when it is tabled and the public sees it I believe there will be a significant understanding of the measures. I believe we have done as best as we could, and I ask for the understanding of all Jamaicans.
The timing is never right for new taxes, though. Understanding this from the Jamaican public. How do you ensure, how is the government ensure the most vulnerable, including those?
Yes, just to be clear, we're not, putting in any measure that is going to create a burden on the most vulnerable. So we've crafted, I don't want to say too much, the Minister of Finance will speak, and I will speak after. I'm being preemptive in a way. But I think the average person should not worry.
What about the corruption perception index? What do you make of our standstill position?
Well, I think we have done very well in terms of putting in place the institutional framework. I think there's still work to be done, but the country should acknowledge that this is a process, and we are making gains in the institutional development. And I mean, in a way, yes, it's a standstill, but in another way, it is a reaffirmation of the progress that we have made. Thank you.
In terms of the taxing, well, we have to see what they're going to propose. The economy is in a slump because of the hurricane, and additional taxation is typically something that promotes, further slump in the sense that it depresses demand and so on. So, we have to see very clear, scrutinize what specific taxes they're coming with. We recognize the challenges that they face, but we have to see exactly what the details are with that. I'm hoping that we will know that this afternoon, because the Independent Fiscal Commissioner has made it very clear that the budget documents should include the revenue measures when tabled, not at the end of the budget process, as has been traditionally the way. And I'm hoping, since the government has already indicated that they will be imposing new taxes, that we will know the details of what those are this afternoon.
Central to the throne speech today was the government's praise, essentially, of the response to Hurricane Melissa. Do you see it differently?
Yeah, I see it very differently. I think the response has actually been very slow, especially in relation to housing relief, which is a critical item. Many people are suffering, without shelter as we speak. And the relief that has been put in place, in quotes, so far has been done in a way that's very bureaucratic. I'm talking about the MP-driven relief, the $10 million per constituency in the badly affected areas, much smaller sums in other areas, but it's been very difficult to access that, and many of the MPs have not been able to do it. So people are really feeling it now, and there's a lot of self-congratulation and backslapping going on amongst the government, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating and what people are actually feeling on the ground in the most affected areas. And suffering is real, and people are still without water, people are still without electricity. And so, I can't say that I'm happy with the progress. I know it's a very difficult situation. But what about NARA? It's established in quotes, but it has no legal authority or power. Why has legislation not been brought to Parliament to enact NARA? This is a major existential issue of our time, this hurricane that hit us. And the construct that the government has put in place, or says it's putting in place to deal with it, hasn't even got off the ground yet. So I don't rate that at all.
And I have to ask Mr. Golding, will this be your last throne speech as opposition leader?
Oh, well, I hope not. Time will tell, what God has in store for me, but I look forward to having many more, especially on the other side of the aisle, to continue the good work that we did in the last 5 years.
Okay, thank you, Sir Golding.
All right, take that away, honey. Take that away. My. This is telling us that this Prime Minister is so narcissistical. Totally numb, right, to the feeling and the care, the honest care of poor people. Have you all heard what the Prime Minister said? Have you all heard what the Prime Minister said as it relates to the new suppressive tax hike that cut off the heads of all the poor. Hear what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said that his new tax package, his new tax hike, right, does not impact the poor. He has done it in such a way that it does not impact the poor. Did you hear that? Have you heard that? No. No. Are we dreaming? Are we in a, how should I put it? Are we in a process of coma? Because I would like to wake up. I would like to wake up. The Prime Minister also stated that he has not put in any measure that is going to create any burden on the poor. No, you need to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Right? A dream. What the Prime Minister said. Because in reality, the Prime Minister just didn't say that. The Prime Minister said he's also making gains in developing anti-corruption legislation. Did you hear that, Tony? Want to hear that, Jamaica? The Prime Minister says he's making gain in developing anti-corruption legislation. Wasn't that the Prime Minister? Wasn't the same Prime Minister who made an application in the court to push against the anti-corruption legislation that deals with illicit enrichment? Well, no. Wasn't he the one who had done that? I want to talk to my people, because it appears as if I am dreaming. Now, Andrew Holness make an application to the court to eliminate, right, a portion of the Corruption Act specifically that deals with illicit enrichment. He didn't do that. Mighty God. And while he's at it, what happened to NARA that he's supposed to implement? Now, let us look in terms of how the Prime Minister, right, deals with this budget so that it may not impact the poor. Let us look on it. Let us bring up the pink paper then. Right? We went through this earlier today, and of course we are doing it again because it is fundamental that we go through this. Here it is, people. Right? We have gone through this today. Right? Application of general consumption tax on digital services and intangibles. Right? So let us look what is going to happen under that. Let us look on all the bulletin point and that, because that is number one. See, the Honorable House is asked to know the intention to apply GCT to digital services and intangibles supplied from abroad and consumed in Jamaica. You hear that, people? So all those people, right, some of who operating social media, right? That is a possibility that, it is going to affect that, right? The persons who have their Airbnb, right, and processing through their respective website, right? This, as it relates to digital services, the tax that is going to GCT on digital services, right? That is going to affect it. Right? Now, digital services, I'm going to break it down. Digital services now form a growing share of everyday consumption by Jamaican households and businesses. Many of these services are supplied by non-resident providers with no physical presence in Jamaica. resulting in inconsistent application of GCT under existing arrangements. So we are going into the detail, people. Now, the rapid growth in digital transaction has highlighted gaps in the current tax framework. Can you imagine? Similar services may be subject to different tax treatment depending on whether they are supplied locally or from overseas, placing domestic business at a competitive disadvantage. In addition, the shift toward untaxed digital consumption contributes to revenue leakage and reduces the government capacity to fund public services. We never know, people who operating like, you know, them different social media sites and so forth and blah blah, who are making a revenue. You understand? We are obstructing government from making their full all of revenues. What is this? This is madness. This makes no sense. The proposed reform is guided by the destination principle, an internationally accepted standard for consumption taxation. Under this principle, GCT applies where the service is consumed rather than where the supplier is located. In practical terms, this means that digital service consumed in Jamaica should be subject to GCT in the same way as local supplied equivalent services. So, you hear that? So all the YouTubers in Jamaica, you hear that? You are going to be affected, right? Persons who operate Airbnb, you are going to be affected. I wonder what, boy, trust me, believe you me, the government believe this is totally suppressive. The application of GCT and international digital services and intangibles is expected to have a positive revenue impact. Once fully implemented, the measures is expected to be fully operational in calendar year 2027. However, for the year 2026, and 2027, the expected yield is roughly $300 billion in a people. $300 million in a people. $300 million. Now, effective date of implementation is during the fourth quarter of the 4 year 2026 and 2027. Right? We could go to now special consumption tax. Levying the special consumption tax and non-alcoholic sweetened beverage. Listen to this now, people. The Honorable House is being advised that a special consumption tax will be introduced under the General Consumption Tax Act on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. So anything that drinks with sweet in Jamaica, anything have to deal with sugar, right? With soda, non-carbonated or carbonated, it just want mark sweet. Any little sweetness in it, you don't have to pay for the sweetness. When you hear Jamaica, anything sweet will carry any taste of sugar. Whether, no man, whether it's carbonated or non-carbonated, well, for all who vote for Andrew Honest, sooner bitter medicine, see what I'm saying, right? That he put in package that does not impact the poor. So none of this, not impact the poor. People, if you're not busy, come here. If you're not busy, come here. So none of this not impact the poor. Look what he did and said, right, his implementation doesn't impact the poor. To show you that this man is just narcissistic. This man is just evil, 100% evil. Right? The Honorable House is being advised that SCT will be introduced under the General Consumption Tax Act and non-alcoholic sweetened beverages, right? For these measures, right? The non-alcoholic sweetened beverages are defined as all non-alcoholic beverages containing added sugar or other caloric sweeteners as well as beverage containing artificial or non-nutritive sweeteners. It makes sure say in broadening it, so that means say from once you drink something sweet, any sweetener in it, you understand, you have to pay a fee. Whether carbonated, what this is wicked. This is extremely cruel. And you what the man come out and say on the first clip that he put in a package that does not impact the poor. That it does not impact the poor. When look at people, go down tonight. The primary objective of this measure is not only revenue mobilization, it also supports broader public health objectives. So in go on, and these guys now say, you understand, him try to help Jamaica from being obese. You understand? And deter people from drinking sweets. But at the same time, his government is not making any way, you understand, for any alternative as it relates to provide something, you understand, that don't have to deal with all those sweetness as so-called diabetes, what he might try to prevent, you know. I guess you see the trickery. This year is the trickery. Here the trickery now. The primary objective of this measure is not only revenue mobilization. It is not about only making revenue, right? But it also supports broader public health objective. The same way Daryl Vaz behaving, you know. The same behavior Daryl Vaz have. So as a matter of fact, him them get it from, you know. You understand? When Daryl Vaz, you understand, and talk about school bus and how I'm going to assist the children, you understand? Them try to appeal to people's emotion, you know. When them are wicked to people and put the knife in your chest, you know. Now, Jamaica continues to experience elevated levels of obesity and diabetes. You understand? So it is not about the money, you know, when I mobilize. It is not about the pushing two and them down in your pocket and I take every cent. It is not about that. It is about obesity and diabetes. Think them can trick people. And sweetened beverages are recognized as a significant source of excess sugar consumption. Then you provide anything, you provide any alternative. Since you're so concerned, what are the alternatives that you provide? Nothing. What are the alternatives that you provide to avoid Jamaican from excess sugar consumption? What are the alternatives? Come out and tell us the alternatives. You are a vicious piece of shit. What are the alternatives? Any reduction in consumption resulting from the price adjustment would represent a positive supplementary outcome. The Honorable House is being advised that sweetened beverages are widely consumed across income groups and represent a high volume, consistently traded category of goods. Data from the 2024 Economic and Social Survey of Jamaica indicate that domestic production of carbonated beverages increased from approximately 17.3 million cases in 2020 to an estimated 20.1 million. It has nothing to do, you understand, as it relates to your care and need for Jamaican people, you understand, and you want to prevent them, you understand, from being obese. Then if you want to do so and prevent them from being obese, what are the alternatives, Mr. Andrew Wallace? What are the alternatives that you put in place to avoid, right, the sugary consumption of Jamaicans? What are the alternatives? Not one you don't have. It is all about, you understand, a suppressive tax system. Trust me, when we tell Jamaican people, you know, say, you know, I have no love for them, you know, them believe they're joking. You know. But welcome to crony capitalism, people. Because guess what? And him entire mini and them, you understand, thief and mash up the economy, you know. Make we have to now go borrow $6.7 billion, you know. And him do it, you know, him see one do it, you know. Mash up the economy with them corruption, you know, with them thievery. You understand? I'm breaching procurement and all them something. And him see one put you in this, you know. When you look on this, sweetened beverages are currently subject only to a standard GCT rate of 15% and are not presently listed in the Act as prescribed goods for SCT purposes. The proposed SCT will be assessed on a per unit basis calculated based on the total liquid volume of each sweetened beverage measured in milliliters. Mighty God. We could just go straight down, people, to the summary. We could go into the summary. Right? We don't need to go through them detail. We could just go down right away into the summary and see the damage. See the damage of people. Come, see the damage now. We could go down in the summary. So we could talk about now all the revenues that they are going to collect that impact 2026 and 2027, which is April, coming this April 1st, 2026. It is going to start. All of what is going to affect you, right, to next year, March 31st. Now, we could go in it. Now, number one, application of general consumption tax. It will just read. And digital services and intangibles. See it here? This is now $300 million, you know. Them are collect in 2026 and 2027, you know. $300 million. See this up? We not tell no lie. $300 million. Now, levying a special consumption tax and non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. So how much there? You might collect there. So much you might draw down there? $10.1 billion. You understand? So, it definitely target the poor people, you know. This is a specific target to poor people, you know. You know, see nothing of this, people that speak in relation to him corporate friend, you know. Nothing here, so that have to deal with him corporate friend, you know, as it relates to tax increase, you know. Him lighten the burden. Lighten the burden. You want to see why PSOJ love him? Me only show you the evidence why PSOJ love him, you know. All of big friend them, all of the elites, all of the capitalists them, get away, you know. See that? And you always make sure, say, them get to look through this. Nothing as it relates to any increase of tax threshold. You understand? Where it hit corporate pockets. Nothing. He protect them. Who him hit? Who him hit? Poor people. Poor people. You know what you know? See that? Levying a special consumption tax and non-alcoholic sweetened beverage at $10.1 billion. That's enough. Just imagine the people who are affected by Melissa, right? Still don't even overcome. None of them don't even see a visit from him, you know. Many of the people them are suffering, you know. And you can suffer them some more. A wicked, you wicked. A wicked, you wicked. Increase special consumption tax and liter of pure alcohol. You see what you can get from it? $1.6 billion in people. Increase special consumption tax and cigarette. Me glad me no smoke. A $1.1 billion that you know. What's this? Modification of 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials. Right? $1.3 billion. Increase the environmental protection levy rate to 0.8% from 0.5% and expand domestic base. Him get $3 billion. Him expected to get $3 billion, $3.6 billion from that. Increase the GCT rate on tourism activities to the standard rate of 15% up to 10% in for year 2027 to 2028. He make sure say, all right, them not pay nothing 2026. You know, see that? Nothing. Continuation of the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from NHT to central government. See there, $11.4 billion. So this is a wickedness, yeah. Continue. So he make sure say him continue the drawdown for NHT.
Which is people's
right,
savings,
which is
not tax money.
Exactly, which belongs to people. Which belongs to people's savings. Right? But at the same time, what this does, it actually changed NHT original mandate. The NHT original mandate was for NHT, you understand, to be able to build low-income homes, right, for contributors. But if you are going to take $11.4 billion, right, every year from NHT, it is going to now incapacitated NHT, you understand, to now still continue to deal with low income homes. So this is what being taken out of NHT, $11.4 billion on a yearly basis. You understand? Which is going to affect that. And that is one of the reasons why when you look on NHT, since Andrew want to start to do this, NHT is not able to build low-income homes, right, for those poor people who are contributing, right, to the homes. Can't afford to do that because of what Andrew Owners is doing. So when you look on the 2026, which is April 1st to March 31st, the total of tax they collected, here it is, people, $29.4 billion. Between the period 2026, right, to 2027, March 31st, right? $29.4 billion. Now look over here. So now, application and general consumption tax and digital services. Now, 2027 now is where it is going to be now fully kicked in. So April 2027 to March 2028, so much them intend to collect, yeah? $4.2 billion. Mighty goodness, oxide. No, boy, so poor people can't do no little hustling. So people who dealing with the Airbnb, right, and people who are having them social media platform, them can't do no juggling. Them can't do no juggling. And you owners who F up the economy, rub up the money, put our Jamaican people in a detriment here, and turn around. The little effort what them are trying to make now, turn around and squeeze them, they hold them down, they put in two hands in a pocket and drag out the sense them because no dollar no unite again. You know. Andrew Wallace now they push down him and deep in the poor people in pocket, you know. And they come up with the sense them now, you know. Because remember, say no dollar no in your pocket again, you know, because in thief for the dollar. But he might go for the sense now. He might creep out the sense now. Mighty God of Daniel. Look at now. Increase GCT rate on tourism activities to the standard rate of 15%, up from 10% in fiscal year 2027-2028, and him expect to collect $11.4 billion out of that. So the fiscal year 2027 to March 2028, the total amount that he will be collecting, 15.6 billion Jamaican dollar. Hey, Jamaica people, remember me tell you now, you don't want it wicked. Listen to me. It can't get wicked on this. Jamaica, it cannot get any more wicked than this. Now, let me just bring in Melting Pot as it relates to what we just displayed here. Melting Pot, your take on the matter.
Oh, there, go ahead. There's a
yes, sir.
Melting Pot.
Are you getting a feedback from my side? I'm not hearing any through my mic.
Okay, all right, Melting.
Are you still hearing that feedback, CMA?
No,
it's not. No.
Okay, yeah. You know, what the Prime Minister come out and said, you know, it's total rubbish, garbage, and it is unacceptable. Because the simple fact of the matter that, I mean, you know, we know that him get some grace period as it relates to what happened to the country. Yeah? The money that he borrowed, $6.7 billion, that he's trying his utmost best to start a tax collection drive. He has a 3-year grace period to build back the country, stabilize the people in life, yeah, before him start to deal with these increase in suppression as it relates to, what we are seeing now. Because this is a suppression on the people, poor people.
Exactly.
You understand? Because there's no way this budget should have looked like what they are trying to present to us. This is a high increase, and coming out and talking about the government has not increased tax in the last 10 years. Who is he trying to fool? Several tax has been increased over the last 10 years. Yeah? But what is so significant, Sir Byron and Lady Anne Marie, is the simple fact that the man said, him thing now damage the poor people.
No, can you imagine? Yo, I know the man say.
Same thing that have nothing to do in terms of damaging the poor them.
Yeah. Annihilate them.
It violate them. Yeah. In the true sense that some of them now going to make it out of this. By the time it will complete, some people gone home because of malnutrition and all these things. So we can't understand this guy, But I mean, we've been telling the Jamaican people that this guy have no heart for the black and the poor. You understand? Yeah. And for the rich and the, light shaded color people, let him defend, Black and the poor, the capitalism agenda, As socialism defend black people and poor people. And I see some black people in Jamaica run around this guy. I wonder what them think them can get, what them can achieve. And I'm not going more than high austerity measure, high inflation, high tax, everything high when it comes to paying the price. Because right now, film big conglomerate friend them, all of them not paying a tax, And poor people back them live pan. Big mama not paying no tax. Yeah, Andrew involved in a big mama entity. Them owe 1.5 billion in tax. And them get 10 right off. That tell us our government have stakeholder in that for that run like that. Tax authority and tax administrator are going from big mama hall. No. Okay? And there are several more big companies that is not paying taxes. But the poor people have to pay it. Because we make sure it's tax up to the man who smoke a cigarette,
Yes.
Cigarette smoker have to give him another $1 billion. Let me see it from a scale here. Yeah,
No,
1.1 billion, Yes. Okay. But your rate get bad now. I know the reason why I'm moving in this direction. It's the application of general consumption tax and digital service and intangibles. I kill him and kill out the youth them from being around social media. It's a bother him.
Yes.
Now when you put tax on them and you see 300 million, not 2026 to 2027, but the next year 27 to 2028, a 4.2 billion that is 3.9 billion increase.
Yes.
You can imagine?
Yes.
$3.9 billion increase. And something when nobody not pay nothing for all over the world, only in Jamaica now, this a come on board. This guy evil to the core. You understand? Very evil to the core. And then when him talk about, say, the tax measure when put out there, it's not so much for burden the people, but it also coincide with lifestyle. Them have health in Jamaica. Them have nothing resembling a health institution in Jamaica. Him have any form of recreation park for the people them go exercise for reduce them obesity size. People afraid to even go outside because be a gunshot. Okay. You understand? And then when you look on it, if you know have an institution that care for people, or you going to use taxation to make that U-turn to show so your government care for the people and when it comes to them health. When your government can't finish a hospital for the past 10 years and a drain taxpayers. When film government I rob up a UE, and I do all these things. When I'm get Dwayne Smith $2.5 billion contract to provide crackers and cheese. When them give it another 3.8 billion in contract to Kenny Benjamin to provide security. But the security guard them now get nothing out of that 3.8 billion. You know, it's a joke business this guy come with.
Exactly.
This guy thinks that people are idiot around here, you know. You understand? Because the little idiot dunce people them where run behind him and him party. Yeah. We could have care less for them now, because them are idiot. Yeah. But the people who we care for, the people who we know so not in him. We're not in him philosophy and him party. But them still have to bear the brunt of this guy, conglomerate people them when not pay no tax. Poor people are pay the tax for the rich elites in Jamaica. Yeah? Because if you check it out, you know, a several $1 billion outstanding to the government. Andrew Wallace alone owed Jamaica over $3 billion in a tax. Over $3 billion more Jamaica in a tax. Because if you add up NNN tax with film tax, them where you avoid from them three entities, combine them are over $3 billion that the Prime Minister alone owed. You understand? But nobody is there to pursue his tax. But the little people, them have to pay it. Or them come take what them have. We see the man put a new tax in the traffic act, fog light. That never depend it, you know. Don't people have pay for fog light now?
What?
That's a new tax, Andrew. Melting pot tell you, that is a new tax. That was not in the traffic law.
Yeah,
you
you're
understand?
right.
You understand? The only thing for this man left the tax at Jamaica, the shit, you know. And that left for this guy a tax. Everything else get taxed.
No, melting pot it tax because NWC tax, you have to pay sewage when in the handling and all
I know that. Yeah, but me I talk about direct tax. Like if you go out and go use the loo.
Oh.
And that one me I talk about. Yeah. Because I'm a tax the people them individually, you know. Because man go buy him cigarette. Because man that Andrew Wallace pressure him need for de-stress. Him go hold a cigarette and you tax him. The youth them make them content for sure where I go out in the country and we do them little thing because him not no job where him create to give them, you know. So him want them sit down and turn what they and fire gun and the girl them go out a back road every night and all about at each up a light post and stop light. Because him no create no job for them youth and them youth create them job, you know. And I'm telling Andrew Wallace because him a one big nasty done said garbage thieving Prime Minister. When the youth them operate them social media platform, I sure know them spend more on internet. You know, they have to top up them thing. Them use light. So you make tax from there so too. You understand? So me don't know when come with like so the people them operate without contributing to the society tax levy.
Yeah, because they have to pay the electricity bill.
Them pay electricity bill. Them pay internet bill. Them have to buy gadget. We come to the island, the phone, them and laptop and all these things. This garbage guy have to go away. Him have one big nasty shit house. Him have the world worst prime minister. Him have the world renowned criminal prime minister. Him to move and lift up. But I just Jamaica idiot people are all on this dog shit. Him have nobody, you know. Him a criminal from long time. I remember him linking all type of high-level activities of criminality. We know that. And go like him, I want seeing. Yeah? You know, see him trick all even the Christian fraternity. Each up in a 7 day like him, I remember. But yet still him deal with demonic cult and all those garbage, large business. It's a two-faced cutlass in the place. And people for run when I ask you Andrew Wallace. Andrew Wallace for the behind bars, him and him wife. I be a criminal activity. Them are going with. You understand? I enrich themselves off of the poor Jamaican. Because Andrew can't drop up in friend them and tax them, you know. Because the whole of them know of him secret. And them secret no look good. It's dirty. US know him secret and I use him. I give away sovereignty. Yeah, when this guy finally come to him last year as a public servant in Jamaica, when I go see how much our sovereignty gone to America. Under Andrew Wallace nasty regime and him nasty attitude him have as a criminal. You understand him and nobody? Yeah? This guy from day one show himself to Jamaica society at large, he's a criminal. Yeah? How can a 25-year will have 47 million? But was student fee 2 years prior to that? Tell me no people, that are the $1 million question where Eng and Joel is all along, you know. A 25-year-old have 47 million. But a couple years ago, in can't pay him tuition. Are you with? He met the son declassified as about a garbage of the worst prime minister this. Yeah? Because in background tell us they come from nothing, you know. Look where him there. But what a Jamaica, when me talk about one of these Jamaican richest man, and him no own a $1 billion company. PSL company and PS Skullduggery. Awarding himself contract using Gavin. Yeah? Using Robert Gavin, you know. Remember when him just win election, you know, 2011, you know. At 34 contract breach him and Gavin go on with Rona film constituency and the people have no benefit from that. So Jamaica need to ask Andrew where are all those charitable money. Yeah, where are all those charitable money and those contract money? Yeah, what happened to them? This guy thief all of them and have them stack up. Show it highlight and expose Robert Gavin. Him draft ya one from down India named Dishan Chubadi. You know much him rob Jamaica already? You know much our people data them sell Andrew and Dushan Chubadi using a false fictitious app in the pandemic and give the people them data. Them make money for that in the people. Andrew figure a prison. This garbage prime minister for the behind bars. I talk about one of the worst prison institutions. You can't go to Rockers Island and those places. Because we don't want him in a Jamaica and a virus. And we know him corruption people who go feed him more than him forget feed it. Him figure out work. And you feel in an orange uniform denim. With shackles and chain and work like a nasty slave. Because he's just a slave. You understand? When we look at everything now, yeah, one critical thing we have to talk about now. This annual you hear what them call it now? Continuation of the annual transfer of 11.4 billion from NHT to the central government. Me never know the NHT is designed to provide central government with annual influx of 11.4 billion. But I want to show my Jamaican people something more significant with this. Because remember, you know, Andrew put $10 billion, I mean, I talk about Jamaican, $10 billion Jamaican dollars on the table for the restoration program of houses damaged by hurricane. Melissa, what was the total estimate of houses? Over 150,000. Allocate 10 billion for that. Andrew come in, first time I rode off him out, say I build 140,000 houses. And him retract on that and come down to 70,000 houses. And we say, all right, 14,000 a year. A 5-year period, we give you 70. 5 times 14. How much house Andrew will spend? No bill none. You understand? So me have to ask Andrew Wallace now. Yeah? In your estimation, Andrew Wallace, do you think that the $11.4 billion is less or more than the $10 billion we put? Because you look like you done said, you know. So me I ask you. But we know say the 11.4 is more than the 10. But you couldn't use one at $11.4 billion and do 150,000 houses, you know, and cover your projected number where you come lie and tell we say you have a bill that amount of houses Jamaican people. You currently only gone 300 other houses. You don't have the 500 houses yet. Yeah? So where we are look for now is the simple fact that you have taken away even housing solution for the poor by taking the money that's supposed to be building houses for the Jamaican, shipping it over to central government. But this money is already taxed. It's a tax contribution from the people and wages. So you're double taxing the Jamaican poor people right now. We have to add this $100 billion worth of tax where you draw down already, you know. To the tax level where you take from the poor people, add the one them where you project your fiscal budget. You're ravishing the poor people in Jamaica. I wonder if my poor people them don't realize what is happening to them. This is why we still have the zinc fence and the broke down old boardhouse them. By now, from Manly create NHT, Jamaica should never have no house that hurricane can come off and puff and blow it over. Boardhouse we done with, that's why I tell you, say, do not build back no boardhouse to the people them. And the next hurricane cycle, yeah, use that as a catalyst to go back to IMF them.
Let me say something with the NHT, because the NHT, right, remember say NHT's contribution, you know, is not tax.
It's not tax.
So what he's doing is actually stealing the people savings.
Savings. Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
Right? And then that's why you find it's an action lawsuit. You understand? Need to leak it.
Yes, and it was running up at NHT. That management team up there need to come under scrutiny and investigation.
Exactly.
How can an entity be supplying central government to the tune of 11.4 billion annually? That it become an annual contribution. What type of contribution? Poor people money, their contribution, their saving. So Andrew's grabbing the poor left, right, and center. And we have to highlight it. I've been saying it all along, you know. Real auditing, and I'm talking about fraud squad, with people going at NHT. Somebody up there is sleeping in bed with Andrew Wellness. Someone up there is in bed with Andrew. There's too much linkage between NHT and the government. For want of a better phrase, that should not happen. Yeah? NHT, you know, is like credit union. You throw your money, it's a bank. You save your money in there till you qualify to get a house. So you throw your money in a bank and you have to call the people the money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You understand?
Yeah,
the people's savings.
Yeah.
Right? To shore up his budget, his central government budget. That's not supposed to be done.
That's not supposed to be done. You understand? But remember, the guy have all consolidation fund, you know. Where am I doing so much money? What Andrew Wallace and his administration doing with so much money, and we're not seeing any work done on the ground. Nothing been done. Eh? And him have the audacity to come put $10 billion on the table for housing restoration damaged by Hurricane Melissa. You know, see this guy lose him head. This guy lose him head. This guy needs to be surrounded by the feds. All out the shit house out of Jamaica. You understand? And go investigate him. Because the Jamaican judicial system is corrupt, you know. Because Andrew own it. Andrew own the judicial system in Jamaica. Yeah? So we know we don't even want him have nothing to do with the court system in Jamaica. The feds them need to come in for him. This man has committed international crime, you know. Remember, I monitor our SWIFT system, you know. So we need to haul him out and put him in the right place. So everything where we are look on right now, yeah, we have a criminal attack to it. Yeah, I make the decision for the country. Yeah, attack the people when him rob the country. And we can't have that. Yeah, we have to come out and beat down that. And Jamaica people, yeah, una the fall for this, you know. Una the fall. Because if a guy even represent the party and him not good, him can't get my vote. If him name a call up on all type of criminal activity and me know me as an upstanding citizen, not believing that, him can't get my vote, you know. Neither in nor him party can't get my vote.
All right. Use another minute to wrap up.
Oh, me, I got excel in my country when my government had defraud me. We take away basic amenities from around me. Yeah? And place me under high austerity measure. Oh, me I gonna survive. Me not gonna make sure the love of the party or him, me vote for him. We want real government to come put in real policy. Yeah? And conduct things the way it's supposed to be conducted. To suit everybody in the society. So at the end of the day, a good government they deal with. I yield back the floor to you, Sir Byron.
All right. Blessings. Let me just put on this caller. Yes, caller. You're on the call, Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Mystic, and good night, Mr. and good night, Melting Pot.
Blessings, blessings.
I'm watching her, I always watching her ever since, you know.
All right, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
And the NHD thing I talk about, not just come on.
Yeah.
I say, if, all right, when I look on, yeah, as I say, we contribute, and if sole purpose, it will make for have to build poor people houses.
Yes, that is the sole purpose. That is the mandate.
Yeah, Michael Mann left for NHD in the 70s.
Yes.
To build low income houses.
Low income homes, yes.
Yeah. So when I look on now, when the people them for do, them for try go a court to get an injunction for block him from take the money. And that all of the people them for do. Try team up and say we don't want to take, we want this the purpose way to do.
Yes.
And we know say they must can go Supreme Court go block him, use an injunction for him and block him. For our money are chewing up. How that sound?
That is perfectly correct. That's perfectly, not only that it is a good idea, right? That is what ought to be done. And that's why I spoke about an action lawsuit. You understand that need to lick him. Because remember, you know, you're talking about NHT contributors, right?
Yeah.
They are contributing to this fund as it relates to the mandate, right? A collective contribution for the purpose, you understand, to build low-income homes. Now, this government, you understand, is drawing down $11.4 billion annually to shore up his central budget.
All right. And the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and next thing we might look at, all right, the level, all right, look on it. To sure how the government not care for the poor. A crisis like Melissa will go on in October. The $11.4 billion there, what he might take to shore up him budget. Him should have used it to kind of renovate back the people in house. Even give out the people even not the people will not contribute, but just use it and try if say he will try renovate back some house for people.
Well, Carla, that is the exact point Melting Pot made earlier when Melting Pot was saying that he is only allotting $10 billion as it relates to the entire relief program, while he is drawing down $11.4 billion. So what Melting Pot was saying that if him use, you understand, just one of that, right? It could have sorted out. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Hold on there. I even say, all right, say yeah. Said it.
You're going in and out. Might be it's your Wi-Fi connection.
All right, you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
All right, may I say, all right, the $10 billion we put out for Melissa grant. All right, so for instance, if the $11.4 billion, what am I take from NHT to shore up the budget? It better if you put it and make it come up to $20 billion to shore up some OCP. You understand? People
Solid point. He can redirect it. For that purpose. And not only that, hold on the caller, because I'm glad you mentioned that. He can redirect it, and you know what that will do? That will give the economy a kickstart, because that would go back now into the construction industry. You understand? Using the various construction workers, you understand, to reconstruct, and guess what? Gives him also the opportunity to make sure that the homes that they are building would be category 5 worthy. You understand? Concrete structure and all them things there. But as you pointed out, that he has no care for the Jamaican people. He doesn't love Jamaican people. So when he's doing his wickedness, if you notice him and Darrell Vaz talking about, you understand, on behalf of the people, on behalf of the this, and meanwhile they are driving their knife in your heart. That's what they are doing.
Cut out again.
You cut out again, Carla.
Yeah, it look like over there. Yeah, man, I hear him.
Yes. Right?
When I look on it, all right, the money that could have stimulus, make more stimulus to the economy. If you continue with the country, you go right down with you. Nah, to me see, me as a youth, me in my 50s I know. And me work in our country, and me do well in our country. For me come to Canada some time too.
Yes.
I mean, I work a reputable people. And me build my life still and set certain goals and achieve out there. So me don't have to really run with still. But the youth that will come down in the future to oversee that. To rock on them. If you buy a 2-bedroom house out there right now at 20 million, 25 million in a good scheme.
Exactly.
And you know, get the work, the job not there, if you pay them the mortgage. So as we say, wipe out the whole middle class gone.
Of course, do you know see that? This is a depletion of the middle class. It's a depletion of the middle class. It's clear to see.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I know. And the people them come like them just blind.
Well, only the people can help themselves, you know, Dada.
I tell you, boy. But sorry for them, for, you know.
It's only them can help themselves.
Them drop the ball still. It's September 3rd. The man will not come with all of the ideas. Them not give the man a chance. That man have all the idea about the house where that bill rent to one. This a man will do the barber, the this, with that, could go deal with the house and get out. Two of them look at NHT fund and get something. Them drop the ball, but I feel things go on with the election too. So why not tell you? I don't know where people are managed.
All right.
Some intervention I forgot go on.
Oh yes.
But I don't know.
All right, Carla.
All right, so me I go and listen to the program. I do a good job in I know I'm watching enough high time for me the woman me lie down and rattle if I have some constructive reason.
Yes.
Melting pot all keep the fire burning.
All right.
Respect how it move, yeah man.
Blessings.
I'm big up on myself, you know, so me call no one then and talk.
Of course,
I'm
of
watching
course.
the program still.
Of course. Of
All
course.
right, so that's good night.
Blessings, man. Blessings.
Blessings, my brother.
Come on, bless.
All right. Now, let us get into, you know, another viciousness of this government. Earlier today, while, you know, we were having our session, right, we have some patients, right, who participated in the program, and they were saying that majority of the patients hungry. No, seriously, think about it, you know. Majority of the patients, what they are experiencing in the hospital currently as I speak, right? They are hungry. The government cannot sustain them. What is going on? So I decided that, look, on this evening program, we have to just expose, right, the level of evil from the Andrew Holness administration and specifically zooming in on the Ministry of Health. Now, Jamaican people, look at this. Look how vicious all of this is. That under the Andrew Holness administration, they had expand, right, the healthcare budget over an 8-year period from $68 billion to $143 billion. In the meanwhile, mommy, see if you can write down some of the hospital equipment that needed, so we may go through, right, smooth. Right? Now, look at this, people. Let us bring up. Okay, thank you. Look at this, people. Look at this. 100. This is May 8, 2024. Here is Christopher Tufton, and this is something that, as it relates to political grandizement, you know, this is something that he's bragging about, you know, and he don't realize that this is evil. Now, 143% increase in health budget over the past 8 years. Listen, people, let us listen. Kingston, Jamaica, the government has increased the country's public health budget by 143% to $145 billion over the past 8 years to improve, to improve what? Services, and do what? Transform the healthcare sector. Let us go back over it, you know, as it relates to why he moved from $68 billion to $145 billion was to do two things. What were the two objectives? Objective number one, to improve services. Objective number two, to transform the healthcare sector. Now, making his contribution to the sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on May 7, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, noted that in 2016 and 17, the budget allocated to the public health was $60.15 billion. Listen, people, listen. Representing recurrent expenditures of $55.47 billion and capital spending of $4.68 billion. The $145.1 billion for the current fiscal year represent recurrent allocation of $133.6 billion and capital of $11.53 billion. We have acted, let me quote him, open quote, we have acted tangibly after recognizing that the transformation that we seek requires an expansion of expenditure. And that him saying, no. And the government has done just that. We are on the road to transformation, as according to Christopher Tufton. Now, make a broad forward to now as we speak. No MRI machine, come help me on it. No dialysis machine. CT scan, we don't have none of that.
Ultrasound machine.
Ultrasound machine.
They need beds.
They need bed.
Bigger space.
And
working AC units.
And working AC units.
Orthopedic.
Right? So look at all of that. Orthopedic instruments. All of these things are still in short supply in our healthcare after increasing it, right, by 143% to a total of $145 billion. Mighty God. Right? Can you imagine? He noted that the government has also increased the cadre of workers with 2,089 doctors now in establishment, in addition to 4,741 nurses and 2,210 community health aides. And by the time him drop that and thought that majority of the nurses and the doctors them gone overseas. Look on it. This is a major increase over 2016 when the number of doctors was approximately 1,500 nurses, right? And 4,669 and community health aides. Ask how much did they know Christopher Tufton? What it is now, Christopher Tufton? Take that away on. So when you look that you increase the budget from $68 billion to $145 billion, where are the services? What happened to the services? What are the benefits that the people are getting? Now, look on the reality, Tufton. Christopher Tufton, look on the damn reality of what is going on under Andrew Holness administration and Jamaica. Jamaica people, you sit down. You sit down with all of this. When you sit down with all of this, Jamaican people don't know what to do. Anytime Jamaican people that you can come together, right? You can put pressure on the PSOJ, and the PSOJ have to put pressure on him to make him leave. They need to be tried. They need to go to prison. Sure. Let us go to the next. Now, look at the $143 billion, right? That you so-called, increase that for transformation. Look on the transformation that you have made. Look on the transformation that you have made, Christopher Tufton.
This afternoon, nurses and doctors at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James are protesting what they describe as inhumane working conditions. Nurse representative for St. James, Nurse Parker, told our newsroom that the...
So the nurses are complaining about inhumane condition. Christopher Tufton, didn't you say that the $140 billion is for transformation? So this is the transformation, Christopher Tufton? Is this the transformation? Listen, Christopher Tufton, listen.
Hospital continues to face severe space constraints, particularly in the accident and emergency ward. Nurses say the situation has become so dire that they're forced to step over dead bodies due to limited space, while
the nurses forced to step over dead bodies due to limited space. So what happened to the $143 billion that's supposed to create some form of transformation? You're not supposed to increase the budget, and yet after the increase, the healthcare is worse than before. It was operating on a $60 billion budget. Me don't understand it, Christopher Tufton. You understand? You need to come and explain because you are so brilliant. I don't understand that when Portia Simpson was operated with $60.8 billion budget for the healthcare, it used to offer better services, right? And used to have basic, right, commodities, right? And used to give solid services. But now, since you increase it, sir, you're gone now $145 billion. It shouldn't be in a situation where it is now worse than when the budget was $60 billion. We don't understand. We don't understand that, Christopher Tufton. How that you have an increase of $145 billion, and now the healthcare is worse than the state it was in 2015. Can you explain that to us? How the healthcare now today is worse than the state it was in 2015? Now listen, Christopher Tufton, listen.
Some patients are left lying on the ground because of a shortage of beds. They're calling for urgent intervention.
First of all, there is overcrowding. There are currently over 100 patients in the area, and it's supposed to house maybe about 35. Yes. And my nurses have 2 cold patients.
So now look at people. An area where that's supposed to host maximum 35. And over 100 people in that space there, you know? And that the nurse are saying, you know? An area that's supposed to have a max accommodation for only 35 has now tripled by the rate of 4. More than 100 persons now in that space that only supposed to occupy 35. People only see it. No, so Christopher Tufton, let me tell you something. Jamaica only say the money need to exit and stand one side to face trial. This man need to exit from out of the system and stand one side to face trial. Listen, people, listen to this.
That is provide resuscitative care on the floor. That is inhumane. And at this time, the nurses just...
So tell me now, Christopher Tufton, how much of these incidents where nurses have to resuscitate people on the floor used to happen in 2015? Come out, Christopher Tufton, and tell me. You understand? If this used to happen in 2015, remember, I know you have to explain this, Christopher Tufton. A $145 billion increase, You increase the budget size, And in 2015, when we have just 60 billion, we never used to resuscitate people on the floor, Come on, talk to me, Jamaican people. Now we are between Portia Simpson leadership from 2012 to 2016. We never have none of this, Where we resuscitate people on the floor. Come on, Tufton, and talk to me, A $145 billion you're increasing, for reformation, for transformation, For transformation and added service. Those were the two objectives, right? For the $145 billion. One, for added service. And two, for transformation. Come tell you the service that you add. And tell us the transformation being done. You can't listen what we are listening to you. We are listening now people under your administration after you increase the healthcare budget to $145 billion. You understand? People have to do surgery, being resuscitated on the floor, and even surgery, you understand, has been doing on the damn blasted floor, Christopher Tufton, and you increase the healthcare budget from 60 billion to 145 billion, and Jamaica only see no problem with this. No, come on, man. Come on.
Cannot take anymore. We even have some rodent infestation. They have communicated before, and we still haven't gotten a response. So this morning, we need to take some action, and we are doing it today.
Meanwhile, a visitor from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominic Prince, who has a heart condition, says the situation at the Cornwall Regional Hospital forced him to leave the facility against medical advice. He told our newsroom that he made the decision to sign himself out of the hospital after becoming uncomfortable with what he says is poor condition of the facility.
I don't care what anybody wants to say. Sit down on chair from yesterday, right? And they still want me to stay back. I got to sign myself out.
Well, Christopher Tufton, let me ask you a question. When you have health services and health institutions, what is the purpose of it? That people visit those entities, right, for healthcare purposes. No run this money, they run me from the health institution. No run this money, they run me from the health institution. This man is saying that if him stay there, he's going to die after getting the adequate care. Here's the evidence that now under a Christopher Tufton being the healthcare minister, the healthcare institutions don't appear as an area that people need to go to preserve their lives. People are actually running away, signing out themselves because the situation is unbearable. That is what being communicated. This is what we are listening to. So, Christopher Tufton, let me ask you a question again. What happened to the $145 billion expansion in budget? To do what? To extend services and do what? To have a real overall of transformation. Where it is, Christopher Tufton? Where it is? Listen, Christopher Tufton, listen.
I live like that. I'm a human being and not a dog. Because you cannot have a person sitting in a chair all night and say you're checking them. It's going to be worse. What can you do for a person sitting in a chair and they don't get comfortable?
So you have signed yourself out and you're leaving now, right?
I'm leaving now.
My viewers and subscribers, if the money up on the screen for resign now, type resign now. If Christopher Tufton resign, everybody type resign now. Me have gonna like up the video for me there. Like up the video, share the video, put that video here everywhere. Put it in your WhatsApp and share it with everybody. Jamaica, the man.
Renee Badro. Nurse, let me start with you. What was it that broke the camel's back, that triggered this action by the nurses over there in Cornwall?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. At this time, what would have broken the camel's back? It's a situation where people just felt like they couldn't go any further. That's the situation.
So, Christopher Tufton, what broke the camel's back, was to the fact that the institution itself was holding on, even although it was unbearable. But it reached a stage of being unbearable. They just can't take it anymore. They have to come out and speak. So again, Christopher Tufton, what happened to the $145 billion for the healthcare? To do what? The two things. To offer efficient services and an overall transformation. What is this we are hearing, Christopher Tufton? Listen.
Couldn't go any further. We are talking about a situation that has been in place prior to Hurricane Melissa, compounded by the passing of Melissa. Cornwall Regional Hospital is a 300-bed unit, right? Melissa would have rendered 140 of those beds out of use. This would have affected the A&E. The A&E, the retrofitted A&E or the refashioned A&E that they are operating from is an area that was fashioned to have 3940 patients. On Wednesday, there were 120 patients in that area. This morning, there were 115 patients in that area. How do you work in a space like that?
My viewers and subscribers, if the man for resign, no type resign. They come to them wrap up healthcare.
From last year. So if you recall, there was a letter that was sent to the Minister of Health from the JMD on November 7, 2025. So we have been one of the persons also heralding the problems at the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
So what steps have both your groups taken to speak with the authorities, whether the Health Ministry or the Western Regional Health Authority, and what has been the response? Let me start with you, Ms. Richards.
The Nurses Association of Jamaica continues to maintain the dialogue with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, both at the permanent secretary level and at the minister's level. We have, the challenge that I have is that there are conflicting reports coming out of the Cornwall Regional Hospital, because I remember in 2024, when I did approach the minister with the concerns along with some other areas of interest, the minister was told that the things that we were reporting were not true. So we have that challenge. The information that is going to the minister is different from the reality that is on the ground. And I have repeatedly said it to anybody who would listen. The people who are offering the information at the government level or at the political level are not being fair and they're not being honest.
Take it away.
Because as I have said, this situation is not new.
And not being honest. Right? And based on what the doctor said, that this has been happening pre-Melissa and pre-COVID. It has been happening. So then what it appears right in front of all of our eyes in terms of the evidence that I presented, that Christopher Tufton had given us a Darrell Valls school bus system. That's what Christopher Tufton had done. Had given us a Darrell Valls school bus system where he tricked the Jamaican people, said that he's going to carry in 110 new buses, then he turned old buses, then he only bring in 60, then him increase in and I tell lie say Ghana 80. But we are him, people. We are him. So you see Darrell Valls, Christopher Tufton, Andrew Wallace, 3 peas in a pod. 3 peas in a pod. They are criminals. Plain and simple. Now, let us put in and hear what the opposition has to say as it relates to the healthcare system. Let us get into that, honey. Let us hear what the opposition has to say as it relates to the healthcare system.
Jamaica's public health system is broken. Every week we hear the horror stories. Long waiting times, no beds, basic equipment not working. Hospitals and clinics are in crisis. While this government cuts ribbons, Jamaicans are being left to suffer in overcrowded, under-resourced facilities like this one. The next PNP government will change this. We're going to shift focus. We want to prioritize actual care for people when they're sick, not these mega projects with huge cost overruns and that can't finish years after they start. Refurbishing every operating theatre, creating urgent care centers island-wide so people stop waiting days for help on benches or floors. We're going to launch national screening programs to target the biggest killers of our people: cancer, hypertension, which is pressure, diabetes, which is sugar. We want to catch them early so that people's lives can be saved. We will make the investments to ensure that every parish hospital has the equipment it needs to deliver the services required by the people. And stop the outsourcing racket that leaves patients with nothing but bills and delays. And we will support our healthcare workers, not just with words, but with housing, with training opportunities, and with respect. This is not about PR. It's about saving actual people's lives. Next PNP government will deliver proper, decent healthcare for the people of Jamaica. Time come.
Time come.
So, just showing what Jamaica has denied themselves of, right? By this government, right, gain a third term in power on the suffering that we are facing. Now, it is really and truly heart-rendering to have our sisters and brothers going through the pain and the suffering, right? In spite of the heavy taxation that they're under. Jamaica is the most taxed country in the Caribbean. No other Caribbean country had experiencing the high taxation that we are experiencing. And in spite of that, no health care whatsoever. No health care. We have gone through, Melissa, and suffering. And in spite of that, the Prime Minister doubled down with him wickedness, adding more tax to the people. Even although, as it relates to the IMF loan, they give them slacks where they can deal with the economy first and strengthen up the economy before handing down harsh taxes. But this goes to show you, this is love to the people from Andrew Holness. This is how Andrew Holness love you. Taxing out all your sweetness. So anything sweet, you have to pay for. Love from Andrew Holness. So what Andrew Holness is telling you, Jamaica, that anything was sweet you, must sour you. You know, hear me? This is Andrew Holness' mandate going forward to the Jamaican people. The thing that sweet you the most is going to sour you the worst. And this is what Edward Seaga had spoken about. That you have to bite the bullet. Now, Jamaica, you are biting more than the bullet. You are suffering. And any other persons who Andrew Holness believe that they might try to escape poverty, for people who have their social media platform, the criminal government say want a food out of that. People, what more can you take? What more do you decide to take? If we are serious, we can take back our country tomorrow. All we need is a united front. If you are serious and you say enough is enough, we can take back our country tomorrow. Stand in solidarity for good governance. Right? March out against corruption. We can't have someone who's at the helm of our politics. It is plain and simple that we have a criminal leading and legislating our political process. It shouldn't happen. What sort of message are we sending when we have a prime minister? Statutory declaration cannot be certified and will never ever be able to certify. And we have this man leading the business, the people's business. Come on, Jamaica. Come on, Jamaica. What are you telling him? It's okay. Prime Minister, you can continue. You can thief as you like. You don't have a problem with it. That is what you are saying to him. That Prime Minister, continue. You are doing great. As a matter of fact, one of the pastors said that Andrew Holness, they might talk about Andrew Holness of 28 account Andrew only should have 50 account. And that's what Pastor Rose said. The thieving pastor, Rodel Rowe. And that Rodel Rowe said, so when we talk, say the Prime Minister have 28 bank account, the Prime Minister should have 50 bank account. Jamaica, what are we doing? What are we doing? To sit in silence is to suffer your own death in silence. You sit in silence is to suffer your future nation. What is going to happen, Jamaica, to your sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons? What are we doing now is going to affect them, because we are failing them by the minute by not doing nothing, by telling the government that it is okay for the government to become a kleptocratic government, a ruthless government, a government that don't care for its people, a government that wreck the healthcare system, a government that rob the education system, a government who fail at defending criminals like Roy Reid to make sure they are doing everything in their power to ensure that Roy Reid get away. And this is the government that you are defending. A government that tells you that if you're associated with Andrew Holness by being his lawyer, having that status, you can kill someone and get away with it because you're above the law. When are we going to say enough is enough? Today, you have witnessed on my earlier program, patients in the hospital, right, calling, participating in the chat, saying right now as they speak to me, they are feeling the hunger. What are we doing, Jamaica? And why they are feeling the hunger? Christopher Tufton spending $800 million on Market Me. What did Market Me? What Market Me has done for us lately? What Market Me has done for us? Spending $800 million. 200 million less $1 billion. To smile in the face of a pum pum. That is how he suffers you. He suffers you for him to smile in the face of a pum pum. And you're okay with that? You're okay with that? Eh? And he can come out plain to your face and give it to your face that he doesn't serve at your service. He serves at the Prime Minister's ledger. Uno didn't hear that? Uno didn't hear that? He doesn't serve. None of you who elected him in. He doesn't serve any of you who voted him in. He serves at the Prime Minister's ledger. Think of what we are saying, people. Think of what we are saying. Jamaica, you have the power. You have the powers in your hands. It is for you to decide what amount of pressure you can take. Because Jamaica, if you come together, if you unite under one accord, Jamaica, and decide that enough is enough, you want these criminals to be prosecuted or out of the political life, that is causing mayhem to us, you can achieve that. You can go out there, right? If you don't go to work, none of those institutions can function. And he cannot operate a government. If you decided that you are going to stick it out for the betterment of the people, betterment for your future generation, he will have to bow. He will have to leave office. I can show you clips after clips where people come out against the government, and that government has to dismiss himself the very same day. That government, right, has to dismiss himself the very same day, because you know why? The people go out against him. The people stand in solidarity and ask him to leave. And he has to leave. Jamaican people, wake up. Brother Melting Pot comes in this space.
Well, there's a situation that presents itself in Jamaica. I don't know if a lot of people, take a view at it. Remember, auditor find that $12.02 billion leave off of the Prime Minister this unaccounted for. You understand? And that just goes to show you, say, even round him desk, money move from round him desk. Him can't get account. Now, when we look at 3 special ministries, and we evaluate them based on who at the ministry and what they come out and say. Grab come out and say them spend the most money on crime. But we still have crime rampant. Yeah. Crime has gone through the roof till it has gained a medal. Yeah. A level 4 travel advisory medal as it relates to Jamaica crime. That's how it get on the international stage. Okay? So that just goes to show you, say, the minister, them, certain minister, yeah, we're high up in the party, them are criminal. So we highlight crab this. Yeah, we have highlight tough tongue now. Tough tongue come and boast. Oh, at them invest the most money in healthcare. Moving the money from $60.15 billion to $145 billion. An increase of 143%. But have we seen anything for that? Massive increase? No. We don't see anything for that. And then we look at the Prime Minister doubling the budget. Have we seen anything? No, we don't see anything in regards to the budget being doubled. You understand? Moving from 600 billion to 1.3 trillion. So we look at these things and we have a question. What are the reasons behind these high increase in these ministries? Simply because these men orchestrate and carried out high level theft of the taxpayers' money. And Jamaican people should have been asking the question. We are not seeing any improvement as it relates to the budget. We're not seeing any improvement as it relates to crime reduction. And we're not seeing any improvement as it relates to health. They're all in shambles. All in shambles. Because remember, the Prime Minister responds to central government. I'm in charge of that. And where central government is concerned, non-existent. Central government is borrowing 11.4 billion from NHG and we don't see nothing for it. The health sector run under Christopher Tufton. Yeah, we have one hospital. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you this. It's in the Guinness World Record book. Cornwall Regional Hospital, gone in a Guinness World Record book, The longest hospital take for refurbish. Okay? And when we look on the, security, Jamaica security now becomes drugs dealers, and that Dr. Crab will spend the most money on security. They sure say these three guys fail and fail miserable and have no accountability for taxpayers' money. But we could look on the topical subject at hand, which is the health sector. And that is very, very demanding a commodity that people seek. Yeah? When you don't have clean hospital to go to, when you don't have functioning hospital to go to, better you don't go to hospital. And we seeing the result of that St. Vincent citizen who they want to sit up on a chair, who has heart condition. He discharged himself. And he was right in doing so. Rather than sit there and, becomes like Mr. Henry from down in Lionel Town, who sat waiting for a nebulizer, and lost his life. I don't know if this gentleman has heard about that circumstance, but it was something of similar predicament. But he chose the wise option and the right option of leaving, discharging himself. So it just goes to show you how bad the health sector is in. But let us touch on some more, aspect of the health sector. Things that we know make hospital function well. And when you have a budget, increase from 60.15 billion to 145 billion, then you must be getting these service. You must get improved service. Yeah, that's bulletin point number 1. And the service must show transformation. Bulletin point number 2. Okay, but let's look at what the service currently represents. It represents no MIR machine, no ultrasound machine, no dialysis machine, no CT scan, no bed, air conditioned unit not in proper function order, no bench, no wheelchair, no clean hospital, no medication, no proper food for patient. Yes? So all of these things now coincide with patient being put in a predicament. Yes? And let us look at what is happening now as it relates to the workforce, the staff. Yeah? Nurses complaining that they have to do CPR on floor. And that now is a result of lack of bed. Overcrowding. Yeah? Where they have an area that's supposed to accommodate 35 patients is now accommodating 130 patients. Then we look at the other aspect that make it so bad and deplorable for the nurse that they have to utilize their own human resource and coming out and, making it, known to everyone, bearing placard and shouting, "No more rats." Then you hear of complaint they are stepping over dead bodies. So we ask, how can you increase, health budget from $60.15 billion to $145 billion, increase of 143%. But you can provide the basic amenity and you cannot provide adequate working condition for your workers that you employ. Oh, this is bad, and this guy must be investigated. This guy must be investigated. I want to make reference. Yeah, I couldn't correct my brother because I didn't have the mic available to speak. But, it's 85 million, Sir Byron, not 800 million. 85 million MP if you look on a furry burger. Because remember the woman named McDonald,
yes. Thank you for the correction.
Yes, Sir Byron. She named McDonald, There's a furry burger and pay 85 million for look on. But I use that one, the car, that one, the good. Where you use? Yeah, the furry burger McDonald, because she named McDonald. Lindsay McDonald. So Tough Tongue take 85 million of our money and pay if you look on a McDonald. When could I go look for one of a McDonald, a Burger King? You understand? So this is how competent this guy is. Very incompetent. And I mean, that is just because him have so much money at his disposal. Yeah? People, Tough Tongue need a CT scan because money depend on Tough Tongue brain. Andrew need a CT scan because money depend on Andrew brain. Crab need a CT scan, money dey on him brain. Pump Vase need a CT scan, money dey on him brain. And Juliet Holness need a CT scan, money dey on them brain. Yeah, these top echelon in the Jamaica Labour Party, they are criminals. Top shelf criminals. Okay? And it is no getting away from the fact. Because all the things show you. Have we ever have any administration with $3 trillion accounted for? We will see a vast amount of non-procurement guidelines when we are paying permanent secretary to provide those service of procurement. So what are we paying the permanent secretary them for? But they are being bullied and drawn into the corruption and given kickback. So they perform the act of these ministers. That is what is happening. We are about the Manchester boys. They are reaping havoc in Jamaica. And we know who they are. They are the elites, the cliques of politics. And so we have to highlight these people, yeah, for who they are. And I mean, a lot of civil society groups who are now falling victim of these so-called politicians must be aware that at some point in time, these men will get you implicated in their corruption, cease and desist from having any affiliation with these dogs, these Manchester boys. They are criminals. Okay? Yes. So the whole spectrum of Jamaica now is that it has submerged beneath corruption. Corruption toppled over Jamaica, man. Can't even see the land of paradise anymore. Can't see it, you know. Because when the land of paradise was paradise, we don't see where you live flood out, where you can't see the roadway. And water coming out your house, newly built house, newly designed scheme. That just goes to show you that these people are doing what? They are doing cowboy work. They are short-changing everybody. Even you will invest your money in a them scheme. You're not getting value for it. Because everything is done under undervalued budget because people take back the money, but that was projected for the budget. Yeah. And what it does, it lends itself to you who becomes, owner of these houses into problem. I've seen people buy their home over by Edmund Ridge, damaging Hurricane Melissa, the furniture, everything. Insurance of them don't respond to them furniture. But I buy a house to safeguard myself and my belongings. Newly house, damaged. House where the Prime Minister come out and boast about. So, oh my God, these are better than, Operation Pride. Operation Pride is now Operation Shame to these houses. Yes? Hurricane proof and all these narratives. But they don't do when it's come out and tell the insurance people them say, no man, we don't need to compensate the people them furniture. Because I don't like to well in a fire, this come under the Natural Disaster Act. So if the money will come, the 6.7 billion, and you need to know say all them people need to get some money to refurnish them house. It's not just about providing back a shelter, The people them last valuable items that they cannot replace under the newly administration of tax. How on earth will these people buy back them bed and mattress when new tax lick them? But I know IMF give the government a 3-year grace period to solidify back the economy. And who are the economy? The people. And them go out and turn the economy. The economy I know itself, And the people are really the economy. You have to give them work and make them participate in building the economy through growth and development. So when you have this garbage come out and I come chat to Jamaican people and go like him think that everybody are idiot because they mash up their education, Man, they have some students when left back here when I gone home yet. Man like Melting Pot, man like Mystic. Yeah, even Lady Anne Marie behind the scene. We ain't lonesome. We are Manly Heights. And we retain the philosophy of Michael Manley. So you can't come go on like so well then because you believe the Manley people them dead out. Can't bring gun to kill out Jamaican, you know. And read Jamaican of socialism, participant. Yeah? The people who follow the socialism movement. We don't feel we don't kill we out. No, some of we left, you know, and come and see overseas. And we know our project the history of Michael Manley and the philosophy of democratic socialism to the people and make them know who is the real party for Jamaicans. It is not the Jamaica Labour Party. The Jamaica Labour Party pride itself on rich color skinned people and silky hair. CIA, Michael Manley, even though him represent for them image, his heart is for the black people and the poor people. This is why I make we learn to read and write with ancestors from behind who could never scratch them name, who don't even know the first letter where begins them name. It makes sure them go home with that accomplishment of learning to read and write, using the initiative program of Jamal into the light. Take you out of the darkness. Jamaican people now have to wise up, you know. You see them only for sweetness, not the goodies bag where Andrew Wallace are going for the past couple of months. It done bitter to the belly, you know. Because I know you can't manage the high tax inflation, you know. And the high rise in prices, you know. You cannot manage it. So what will be the solution? I'm asking my Jamaican people tonight. What will be the solution for a kleptocratic government that has long passed its time in Parliament, has overstayed its time in Parliament? What is the solution? The solution must be a collective effort in going out there, like what you see the nurse them did, like what you saw the Chinese them did, and protest peacefully, bearing placard, and using the voice that you have. And I mean, it don't mean a one-day protest. It means several days. If it have to take weeks until him come out. Beat the kettle drum over him ears until him can't take it no more. Yeah? I'm going to tell you, my people. You see all them increase your Weber dash out on where you not see nothing saying anything about collecting corporate tax or mentioning of corporate tax, which is these big conglomerate company where I operate on the back of pay no tax in Jamaica. Boy, I cut them thing, man, buy a pound of sugar, man. Mix sugar and water, stop buy them product. Silence them. Let them have to go back to the garbage and tell them, say, you want roll back them tax there, you know? Roll them back. You see all the thin condensed milk on themselves, kind anything with a sweet, you know. I charge you, you know. Bag juice, I charge you, know. I think as bag juice. And you know, have no heart. So you see, them thing that now, condensed milk. But I don't know if you don't still like me, you know. I've used condensed milk in our tea, brother. See that? Black tea. Black tea. So we're done with condensed milk. You understand? And we're done with certain things. We cool off of the drinking, man. Real nephew, D&G, flap them out. Tin can drinks, flap them out altogether. We don't have to do nothing more than that, you know. Not more. Cigarette, if you used to smoke 5, smoke 2, that will hurt him, CMM sales, that will drop.
Get some.
Because I know the pressure go when a man wants something meds when he's hungry, you know. We turn to a cigarette for comfort, you know. Because people don't even know. That's what it offers. It offers a bit of relaxation. As damaging as it might be, but if you notice, government right around the world always tax cigarette, but they never close down the manufacturing company. Them get millions of dollars from them in a tax. Government are hypocrite right around the world, not just Jamaica. So we have to understand how government formalize them things. Yeah, and when we can shift the balance from them in our favor as consumer, because we have the power, you know. We don't shift it, man. 3 months what them can't take it. I told Jamaica people, weak and pathetic. why this administration continue to reign over you. Yeah? You see all them tax that where I put for motorists, especially the man that where do transportation work, like the taxi driver and the minibus driver. That decide so now lock off on a business for 3 weeks, man. You know what that do to the economy? People can't go to work. Some people can't go to school. You don't know what that do to the economy? Me I tell you, no mighty God, you don't even know what that do to the economy. Just decide, no police can't write no ticket. 3-week police ticket book high, it can't in. Police tell me so when them come out to them book half a tree, you know, that half it done, you know. I see him not come back at traffic if him not done him book. So I'm get a mandate for done it willy-nilly. That's why them tell too much like Andrew. I one of the wickedest government ever set foot on Jamaica land. In a parliament. Here, make me tell you because me know, me hear it from the ass's mouth. The directive order when traffic cop get is for done the book before you come back in when your shift done 2 o'clock. Remember them come out from 6, you know, till 2, you know. Yeah. Man tell me personally stand up in front of me and make me know so that I've done. When time that done him good. So I'm right, I'll think if you tell you so you never indicate when you indicate. All these things, wickedness, evilness. Yeah? So the whole system in Jamaica need a purge out. And we you purge? You purge the politician them out. You purge them out. Yeah, you purge out the head of the security as it relates to Crab and Google too. All them guys have a purge out. Because man will align themselves to government, you know, them can kill people and get away, you know. Not a year turn. Over 8 years now. Not a year, not a strong a year turn, you know, that the case there. Yeah, like them alone to live out him time till him dead. So him never get convicted for junior murder. Yeah, I remember I know him alone carry out people. We know everybody where behind that. Yeah? Out of this! Now I say nothing more. You understand? You know yourself too, you know. Yeah, man. You no corrupt and nasty. You understand? You no corrupt and nasty. You no have germs. You don't have no respect for fellow human life, you know. Yeah, and it's all down to greed. Because you don't do Patrick Bailey nothing, you know. And Patrick Bailey have the man I said, I live off and I share to them boys friend them. And the man and I deal with girlfriend. So the whole spectrum of everything is that just everything around the GLP administration is corrupt and nasty. Patrick Bailey, they around them. You understand? Yeah, can't remember all doc the on the scene. Me know the doc, you know, I can't call the doc name, you know. Know him, man. Know him. Yeah, man. And people know him too. But just make him go and rest in peace for the time being because that case that's still not done, you know. It don't even start yet. So me have not to say nothing. You understand? But me know the doc, and me know the other operation arms will come with the doc, man. Yeah, and some nastiness them. But this is how Andrew feel like him can run Jamaica, have everybody running scared, even have them one shadow. Right now, people afraid to do road, you know. You got a road, you might not come back home. Yeah? You got a road as a hard-working man and you're dead out there as a gunman and you never see a gun yet, you never won one yet. But them have gun for plant pan you. Because remember the gun them when come at Jamaica, you know. Nobody knows how them process them out of the system, you know. We don't see no damage control. We never see them go back to where them come from, you know. Them circulate. Police have them and sell them, man. The little criminal one them. You understand? Sell ammunition. Have them own gang with them supply with these things. And the gang go out there and wreak havoc. So police is also, you know, accommodating gangs. And some of them own gang. Because remember, you know, I know lie we are telling you. Melted but not telling a lie. Remember, police can't stop, you know. And we take a stop, the back full of gun, you know. And everything what police use, you know. And when you do the investigation, a gang of 18 of them. 18 of them. We do much police in the gang. So you see the Andrew Wallace police force, very, very dangerous for Jamaican society right now. I remember, we don't have no GSF, you know. Nah, man. Jamaica Constable Force, remember about that, man. Google 2 and them boys, remember about that. Yeah, Jamaica Cocaine Force. Jamaica Cocaine Force. Yeah? I remember, Andrew Wallace won it now. So, I write the same thing there. So people who not just know so well then right now a time to call to action. Yeah, we want to go out. I want to demonstrate peacefully within a placard, within a PA system, make the world here and have it on video. I want to do it soon because maybe, remember, I said the guy have high tax to put pound where I use these things on social media. So I want to start with them things they don't have video them and send them out. Because Andrew even want to kill our phone a little one initiative to find ways of making a salary. Why them don't have nothing for the table to go now? If not a job I send them to go, you know. Back road, where Big Mama go, you don't want to meet up on Big Mama. Big Mama look like a ghost, you know. You go run a back road and have to jump in all Port Tennyson Beach. Running from Big Mama. You understand? Other life, the Andrew choose for you. But we that telling us, say, this guy not have not phone, you know. You want to know, say, that guy not have not phone, him chicken with a word and prosperity, you know. I mean, I was showing you, say, that dead. Me, I was showing you tonight, say, that dead. I'm not going to laugh till, you know. But what is now? You remember when Andrew going to the rural area and they tell him, say, well, Andrew, you know, so the road where me are there, bad, you know. And, you know, no banana carry home, me look up bag of chicken, feeding them, to feed the chicken, them, you know. And one taxi man come around and him charge X amount of him alone, everybody else come around here. But Andrew do. Instead of Andrew, listen to the woman plea, yeah? And no, so I know she alone, it affect. And do something, as I said, as the leader of the central government, yeah? And put forward the money to fix that road out of the consolidated fund that was designed under the PMP to collect a special tax off of every liter of fuel for fix the road. Andrew give the woman a donkey. Andrew couldn't even tell the woman where the donkey name. The woman give the donkey a name called Prosperity. Donkey never loved that name there, no. Within no time the donkey dead, so Prosperity dead. I rest my case, I yield back the floor to you, Sir Byron.
All right,
Prosperity dead.
All right, Jamaica. Get me. Yes. All right. So we are going to speak about some of the high level of criminality as it relates to Andrew Holness administration, right? And these are the things that we have to take note of, right? Things that are factual to what we know. Now, listen to this clip with Andrew Holness claiming that he's paving the way, right, as it relates to cut corruption. This is Andrew Holness. People, I want you to listen to this, you know. This is the Prime Minister, where his statutory declaration cannot be certified. If the Integrity Commission even give him another 5 years, he will not able, right, to have his statutory declaration certified. Here, Andrew Holness speaking now that he wants to cut corruption. The man who instigate, the main instigator for the corruption, wants to cut corruption. Main instigator that did not sign the code of conduct telling the Jamaican people that, look, I am not going to hold myself accountable. I am not going to be trustworthy. I am not going to be honest. So I am not going to sign the code of conduct, plain and simple. Look at this. Hear what the Prime Minister is saying. Look at this. Listen to this, people. We can't make up this.
We are going to talk about breaking corruption. Then you have to insulate the decision makers. And it's not just the parliamentarians and the ministers or the public servants. You also have to insulate the political process. Because in our system, the political parties rely for funding on the people over whom their decisions will have an impact. And so things like the political campaign financing and the registration of political parties, those are important pieces of legislation to break that overhanging connection. So the challenge is the Jamaican public ready for this?
Is your government ready to do this?
So from how I've been speaking here to you today, you can see that I'm there already. The missing part of the link is to communicate this to the public, because this is a democracy. We're a liberal democracy. Me saying this now will spark an editorial or several letters to the press to mobilize public opinion against this. And I have to pay attention to these kinds of mobilization and get a sense as to where people are. Are they ready for this? Because that is the essence of democracy. And I always say that corruption is the flip side of inefficiency. Whenever a system is working well, there is someone who's always willing to say, I will pay more to go around the inefficiency.
All right, people, I want you to listen to what Andrew Wallace is saying, you know. I want you to listen keenly what he's saying, you know. That he will pay more to go around the system. He will pay more to go around the system. Why you think Andrew Wallace hike the politician pay? For them to look left. Why you think Andrew Wallace hike the judges' pay? For them to look left. Why you think Andrew Wallace hike the Commissioner of Police pay? For him to look left. We want for you to listen to what the criminal is saying, you know. Listen carefully, you know, people. Let me drag it back for you to hear that what he's saying, you know. He knows that the 30 pieces of silver that Judas collected, Jesus was going to be delivered to the Roman soldiers. What do I mean by that? He knows that the love for money is the root of all evil. And as human beings, we are weak under the corruption. He knows that he can pay. And if he gives you that money, you will help him to pull down the guardrails that protect taxpayers. Listen to what the Prime Minister is saying. Listen here, people. Listen him keenly.
The inefficiency. And once that is the case, then you enter into an economic arrangement. And in fact, what that does is that once people realize they can pay a toll to get around faster, there are those who want to keep the inefficiency in place.
Once you can pay a toll to get around the system faster, there are those who wanted to keep it in place. Listen, Jamaica. Once you can pay a toll to get around faster, and you always know that with him, he continues to pay for his corruption. The high salary increase for judges, for some civil workers. And so then when he controls the system as a result of that, when he put in the Judas mechanism, the illicit enrichment is going to deliver in his hands. And the system of justice is going to look left. So Andrew Holness know that, okay, for him to stay afloat, he has to sustain it. So let me ask a question. A commissioner of police, Kevin Blake, where his salary moved from 4 million per year to 12 million per year. You think a Kevin Blake want a Mark Jefferson Golden come in? Do you think that? I want to show you how this man wrap the system. I want to show you how this man have the system in his palm by the very same thing what he's saying here. Right? So then, it is about their personal interest on it. It is not about moving the nation forward. Not about building the country economy, but building themselves. People, I can pull it back and you listen keenly to what the man is saying. I want to hear keenly what the man is saying. Listen to him keenly.
And in fact, what that does is that once people realize they can pay a toll to get around faster, there are those who want to keep the inefficiency in place so that people continue to pay.
And that's why they want to keep the inefficiency in place. That is one of the reasons why you make an application to the court for the court to remove the Corruption Act that deals with illicit enrichment. That is why you make that application, Andrew Holness. Very same thing what you're saying here. This is the reason why you make that application. Jamaican people, listen to him. Listen to him.
To go around inefficiency. Now you have to stamp out that kind of corruption. Now once you start to do that, change systems to make them more efficient, people automatically say, oh, you're going to take away my job. But aside from the investigation and prosecution, quite a bit of systems engineering is being done in terms of the business processes to see how we can merge systems together.
What system that you preserve? When 3 of your companies file nil tax, 3 of your companies, Andrew Holness, file nil tax, and the Integrity Commission investigators caught you red-handed, running $470 million through those 3 companies, but you file nil tax. What sort of system that you put in place to protect that? Laws existed. The problem is enforcement. And what you have done, you have corrupted the system to enforce the laws that are here. You talking like this, and in the same breath, it is you who file nil tax returns, and in the same breath, running $470 million through those companies. People, listen to what this man is saying.
Right, to come up with shared services, to get rid of redundant services, right, to make the bureaucracy, the government's bureaucracy, far more efficient, to remove the various steps that are irrelevant in the business process. And we're going through that process, a whole process is going through. So we have pitched that as public sector reform, but a large part of that is to remove corruption.
Okay, let me ask you, what happened to NARA? What happened to NARA that you had spoken about to have oversight and ADPEM? What happened to NARA, Andrew Holness? What happened to NARA? This is the things in terms of what you do. You speak it, but you act contrary to what you have spoken. Right? Sir, you're a scammer. You're a con artist. You are a scammer. So this is what you do. You're very good at this. In tricking, conniving. You're deceitful. You said you were going to create NARA for NARA to provide oversight in ADPEM. Where is NARA? Where is NARA? You're a scammer. You're a scammer. Now take it away, honey. Now, let me show you when we said that Andrew Holness is indeed a scammer. Look at this move, people. Andrew Holness as it relates to the tax. Right? That suppressive tax continues to draw down $11 billion from NHT annually. By doing that, damaging NHT mandate. So NHT cannot function by building small income homes for distributors, for contributors, sorry. They can't afford it anymore. You know the reason why they can't afford it anymore? Look what Andrew Holness did with NHT money to his friend. Remember, now, look, people, before you touch that honey. You have contributors who have been paying contribution over 10, 15, 20 years and cannot get a home. Look what Andrew Holness did with NHT money. Lift it up, honey. Right? Look what Andrew Holness did with NHT money. Give it to him, friend. Give it to him, friend. Look at this, Jamaica people. We are going to mash him down tonight. Look at this. See it here? NHT appeals for patience. You are appealing for patience. Eh? The director for NHT, you and Andrew Holness plan to take out contributors' money, right? And give it to your friends. Right? This is what you call the kickback. NHT appeals for patience as it conducts validation checks. What kind of validation checks you are conducting? You, what sort of validation checks that you are conducting? Here, this is him, aligned with Andrew Holness to take millions of dollars from out of NHT and gave it to their friend for development that was not delivered. Look at the level of wickedness here. The National Housing Trust is appealing for patience and understanding as the agency conducts validation checks to strengthen safeguard. Your Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark take out the money and give it to your friend Dexim. Addressing a JI's think tank on February 5th, Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs at NHT, Dwayne Burbick, said that the objective is to ensure accuracy and protect the trust against errors and fraudulent claims. So if you are trying to protect the trust against errors and fraudulent claims, why did you take millions of dollars and give it to Dexim? As a result, approximately 1,000 contribution refund applicants are being contacted and asked to resubmit their request. Right? Now, take that document away. Let us go into where the opposition want answers about NHT deal. Right? Let us jump to that document. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The opposition want answers, of course, about NHT deal with Dexim. The opposition People's National Party is refusing to let up as it continues to press for answers in relation to what it calls a sweetheart deal done by Nigel Clark, Andrew Holness, and the director for the National Housing Trust. Now, sweetheart deal between the National Housing Trust and developer DISCAIMER Holdings Limited, while calling for the resignation of the trust managing director, Martin Miller. He should be fired forthwith. Fired forthwith. Just imagine, contributors who are contributing their monies for more than 10, 15, 20 years cannot get a home from NHT. Many of them can't, because you set up government bureaucracy in which you speak. And the bureaucracy now avoid them from being qualified. But avoid them from paying into the NHT contribution. And you take their money and give it to your nasty friend DISCAIMER. Now look at this. This concerns a 2-year guaranteed purchase agreement the NHT signed with DISCAIMER Holdings in 2019 for the developer to provide 200 houses through its out of the blue development in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, at a cost of 2.5 billion Jamaican dollar. I was saying million. 2.5 billion Jamaican dollar. Taxpayers' money. You take from out the NHT Andrew Holness and gave it to DISCAIMER 2.5 billion, with the trust committing to buy the houses at 12.5 million per unit. So then, how many poor people can pay for that? The developers, the contributors who are contributing to NHT, how much of them are going to be qualified for a $12.5 million per unit? While you are doing this, you are also drawing down $11.4 billion from out of NHT. Jamaica, tell me how NHT is going to be able to operate as it relates to the original mandate of Michael Manley to provide low-income houses to people. Tell me how these contributors for years are going to be benefited. Look what Andrew Holness, take NHT. Look what Andrew Holness has done with NHT. You know, say you hate Jamaican people, man. You know, say you really hate Jamaican people. Look, in September 2022, the NHT sued DISCAIMER Holdings for failing to deliver the houses despite advances the company $650 million, and alleged that the developer was selling units assigned to it. The matter was heard in court on January 9, where the parties agreed to end the contract and came to a settlement which included signing of the non-disclosure agreement. Why the people can't hear? Why the people can't hear the crooks and the criminality what you have done? Take this document away. But Jamaica people, let me talk to you. Only believe say only that the wickedness there Andrew Holness done with NHT. So come and me take on through the various of wickedness and criminality that Andrew Holness had done with NHT. The consistent drawing down of $11.4 billion, right? As a result of that, NHT is no longer able to provide, right, small income units, you understand, for contributors. They can't, because they are losing out of the trust $11.4 billion to shore up Andrew Holness' budget. That needs to be taken. He needs to be taken to court for that. Then what Andrew Holness had done, right? Use NHT, partner up with private developers, join up with them right, to build so-called certain model units that the very same contributors will not stand a chance to pay for it. So the ordinary contributors, Andrew Holness bracket them out of that opportunity by signing up with many of these private investors, where also it could be possible that he has shares in some of them, and this is how he benefited, using taking abuse of taxpayers, damaging the NHT. But Jamaica, look at the ultimate wickedness of what Andrew Holness had done with NHT. Go find the next document on it. Let us show the people the ultimate wickedness, where the man handicapped NHT, the man crippled NHT. Let us show the ultimate wickedness of this brother. Let us take you through the ultimate wickedness. Look at this, Jamaican people. Look at this. This man is so cruel, so devil. If anyone believe that the devil is in flesh, look at Andrew Holness. He's the devil in flesh. Government agency investment at SSL, safe and accounted for. Lie that to no people. Lie that to no people. But before we get into this document, let me ask Andrew Holness a question. So Andrew Holness, you did long aware and know that SSL did not have a license. You didn't know. You were aware of that. You know that SSL did not have a license to do any of the business that SSL has been doing for the years. You know that, Andrew Holness, you're the Prime Minister. The Minister of Finance has oversight over FSC. And FSC reported to the Minister of Finance. SSL had breached so many of the rules and regulation. So you, Andrew Holness, would have definitely aware that SSL don't have a license. Where am I going, people? Where am I going? Guess where I am going? So then if Andrew Holness aware that SSL is not an licensed entity, then Andrew Holness would have also known that it is a functional Ponzi scheme. Then let me ask a question, Andrew Holness. Why did you take taxpayers' money and put it into the Ponzi scheme? Why did you do that? You know for one that SSL doesn't have a license. Let me tell you something. When the court finish with you, Cross-Kerry, they need to connect you in all of this because you are the Prime Minister. You also aid and abet to rob investors of their money. Not only that, you were involved in SSL. If you take this back in time, you have been in Cash Plus. You have been in Wallet, Ponzi scheme, upping. And so then you fully aware, based on experience, that SSL doesn't have a license. But look what you have done, Andrew Holness. Look what you have done. Look what you have done. As a part of the ongoing investigation of fraud at Stock and Security Limited, 4 government agencies were revealed to have accounts with the company during a press briefing on Monday, January 23rd. The agencies were revealed by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark to be the National Health Fund with an investment value at $740 million, 563,000. So now that you have also taken money and gave it to DEXIM, now this is now what you have done. Now the level of wickedness, the level of cruelty, right? Because NHT must wreck under your feet. You are definitely in pursuit to damage Michael Manley signature program that Michael Manley fight hard for. So you're jealous over Michael Manley over the program. So you want to now desolate the NHT. And because you hate the Jamaican people, you want to suffer them to make sure that NHT is not able to deliver low-income earning homes for these contributors. This is how effing wicked you are. The reason for you to do all of these things, attacking the NHT, the way how you are attacking NHT, is to ensure that NHT being crippled under your feet. Look at this. $740 million, 563. The National Housing Trust with an investment valued at $238 million. Mighty God, look at the wickedness and honest. Look at the wickedness. The National Insurance Fund with an investment valued at $8,400,730. And the Jamaican Banana Industry Catastrophe Fund with an investment of $98,285. You tell me under what circumstances in terms of the Prime Minister would have fully aware that SSL doesn't have a license. And Andrew Honest used this as a medium to pocket, him and him friend them, pocket taxpayers' money. Andrew Honest, this is what you have done. All of them money share up for you and Cross-Kerry. Share up for you, Cross-Kerry, Darrell Vaz, and the whole I want to eat this money See the people, I'm going to see it. The agencies were revealed. All of them money where you see. You Cross-Kerry, Darrell Vaz, Andrew Honest, nyam this money and Nigel Clark. The whole of them nyam off this money. All of this money are gone in their pocket. So not only investors that they hurt and rob and pilfered from, they rob the common taxpayers. Rob the common taxpayers to show you that Andrew Honest has no hinge of care. Put up fake, right? As it relates to what the trust that the take the money from. Okay, melting pot. No, you know, in here, so right? As it relates to, yeah, melting pot. Yes.
Yes, sir, Byron. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. No worry. I was just going to answer something, but I just remember. Bring it up back. To show you the level of wickedness, my Jamaican people. Let's put it up.
Hold on, it's still getting the echo.
To show you how this man is completely wicked. To show you how this man is completely wicked. Create charity. Create a charity so that him can help his constituency. Did the constituency see that help? No. So the money that goes into the charity, he took it and by personal bond for himself. Open a charity. Collecting money for the charity to help his constituency, but divert the money from the charity and from the purpose of which the charity serve, and go and buy personal bond. Jamaica. We have Andrew Holness today, right? Simple means, take this away on me. What Andrew Holness is served in the parliament is an obstructionist, standing in the way of the investigation of FID and the Integrity Commission investigators. That's what he's doing. I want you to understand when I said that Andrew Holness is an obstructionist. He's making sure, he's ensured, trying his best that any progress of the investigation, he's trying his effort, his best to stop it. But it cannot stop. And it will not stop. Andrew Holness, you must go to prison. Because the FID authorities make sure that they told Glyco Lizard to keep himself away from this investigation. And let me tell you something, Jamaica. Let me tell you this. FID, let me say this. United States is watching this particular case. United States. Because in this particular case, money, investors' money that you have taken away will have hit the Swiss system. And so the United States involved in this. And the pressure from the United States that lead you to charge you cross-carry. Because if the United States did not involve, you wouldn't have charged you cross-carry. You trick the Jamaican people that you are going to call in the FBI. You know very well that if you call in the FBI, you're gone to prison. You know very well that if you call in the FBI, you're gone to prison, Andrew Holness. You know that. Nigel Clark, you know this. And you continue to lie to the people. Have cross-carry out there just like how you have Patrick Bailey out there. And so then because nobody from the outside is not forcing you to charge Patrick Bailey is still surviving. But to show Jamaican public that you have been pressured by the United States to charge you cross-carry and the people who are involved, because the file, let me tell the Jamaican people, the file, the crowd file that has been done, not only shared with the Jamaican authority. It is now learned that the FBI have that file. The Crawler Authority handed over that file. So then, guess what? FID, there is nothing you can do to save him. You cross-carry, you must pay for this. Zachary, you must pay for this. So then the January case supposed to be called up, and guess what? Uno silent. What happened? Uno want nobody know. January of 2026, you Kraske would have gone back to court. What happened? Uno lock it down. Uno want nobody know. But we said things are come up to bump. Fire their mus tail and them think a cool breeze. You are going to be paid for this. America and their mighty US dollars. You're going to have to pay for this, Andrew Holness. You're going to have to pay for this. Because it is you, Andrew Holness, who criminal partner, with you, Croskerry, with Darrell Vaz, to rob investors. You've all done it. You have all done it. And because you know that we are speaking the truth, this is what you can't take. But we are going to continue to burn the candle until we get justice. Rest assured, Andrew Holness, we will never ever stop. We are going to sing this in your ears until we gain platinum. We are going to ring this record in your ears until we gain platinum. Justice must be done. A truth and reconciliation needed in this country to fix this country. Andrew Holness, you are the head of it. You are the biggest criminal in Jamaica. And that is the truth. GLP is the #1 gang in Jamaica. No other gang is bigger and more powerful than the GLP gang. And that is the truth that you don't like. You call yourself a government and partnering with criminals to rob investors of their money, to carry down our country, to cripple our economy. And then you come, try to buttering them with suppressive tax. We are not going to allow you to get away with it. And so then by me saying that, let me bring down the sledge to hammer you down. Melting pot.
Yes, sir, Byron. Boy, me I tell you, you know, you shape the landscape so well. Melting pot come in. And you know what me I go do when me come in? I go pin it down.
All right.
And move. Yeah. But me could look on the whole affair surrounding SSL. Yeah? Because why I have to start after Sir Byron? SSL has taken a lot of Jamaican taxpayers' money into its Ponzi scheme through the mechanism of Andrew Holness, yeah, as the government. But let us broaden the corruption ring that protected SSL. We have to mention people like Richard Biles from the Bank of Jamaica, Keith Duncan, who was in charge of the stock exchange, Andrew Holness, criminal prime minister, Nigel Clark, the liar finance minister. All of these 4 people, I can guarantee you, facilitated SSL CEO Hugh Croskery with operating without a license. I have no regulation to be dealing with nothing of the sort. These people facilitated it. I guarantee you that. When you look at the vast amount of money that Andrew Holness took from the Jamaican taxpayers and pump into his and his friend Ponzi scheme, it's alarming. National Health Fund, $740,563,020. National Housing Trust, $238,855,480. National Insurance, $8,400,000, yeah, 730. And from the Jamaica Banana Cash Traffic Fund, 98,285. Andrew Holness, Jamaican people need to get back their money. We know no deliberately do what we do, crash the scheme, run off with the cash. Yeah, and you must be held accountable. Yeah, but I'm glad that you intertwine yourself with the SWIFT system. So we are looking at you having to answer not just interstate but outer state. Yeah, because United States have you upon the 700,528, you know, US dollar where you put now City Bank using a check invoice. Yeah, that you claim to be Jamaican currency. All of this said and done, despite to Andrew Holness, yeah, being what you call a mafia in the Jamaica political affair, using the office of the Prime Minister to conduct all of these illicit corruption in the country. All right, so we just have made the people know and Andrew know. Yeah, where this is concerned, this have gross implication for you to be put behind bars for a very long time. Now I hear the garbage come out. Yeah, and him use a narrative. And him do have no set the narrative where I use. It can be easily interpreted for what the real truth of it is. When them talk about you can, you know, just like the toll. Just pay a toll and get around the system. But tell us them pay money to get around the corruption, you know. You see the toll is the corruption.
Exactly.
Yeah? The toll is the corruption. So just like how you pay to use the toll and get around, you just pay money to get around the corruption. Have we seen him doing it? Yes. That's why Patrick Bailey is there, being protected by some of the corruption money. Yeah? The DPP, the farmer one, she was well protected and given elevation over the time period where she's supposed to serve her. Because she was doing a damn fine good job for Andrew Holness and was richly rewarded. And she would never get to the bottom of any high-profile cases in Jamaica that have any bearing or significant contact to Andrew Holness. She put them there in a file 13. Use a little frivolous phrase with them call statute of limitation. Say time run out. Time can't run out for criminal. Time cannot run out for when an official commit crime in them country. In the UK, all 80 years, them find you be alive and all your nastiness behind the bars. I know it apply in America and Canada. I know it apply down in Australia and New Zealand. I can't say for the love of God why it don't apply in Jamaica. Because Andrew come and rigmarole the system and use the vast amount of proceeds that he maximized from criminal affairs to pay the people by rubbing butter upon their mouth. A lot of people have Andrew grease upon their mouth, upon them hand, and upon them pocket. And Andrew grease crawl all in them bank account. We know people who carry out an act of atrocity for him recently, you know. And when you're looking at the same time frame, you know, a portion of money going to one Canadian account, me not call no name. A portion of money end up into a Canadian account. Who the cap fit, let them wear it. And wear it immaculately too. Because you know it's true. So when you have these people providing high stake, you know, performance for the Prime Minister, then you can't get a better society, man. That is why we see corruption just a run like Black River in Jamaica. Corruption just a run like Black River in Jamaica. A run like the Rowan River, Milk River, all the 120 river. That's how corruption a flow in Jamaica. Andrew Holness did it. You understand? This is why I can't talk to Tough Tongue Pumpas and them guys there, you know. Can't talk to them. Monkey see, monkey saw, monkey do. Okay? Yes. So this is how Jamaica is now fully functioning and operated. You understand? Corruption to the core. Why you think the police them buying it? The police them buying to the corruption because the leadership of the country is fragile and itself implicated in corruption. So you can't talk to, you can't pull me up. We know where you do because some of the work we do it for you. Long time we don't say Andrew allegedly. align himself to people who participate in cocaine trade, you know. Long time. Like I say it again, long time we know that Andrew Holness allegedly aligned to people who participate in cocaine trade. And so cocaine is not something that the Prime Minister will ever come out and speak about. Because it is said allegedly that he participates in the activity. So you can't have your head of state operating like a drugs cartel. That is why Jamaica becomes so drug infested. We don't hear about nothing about marijuana again. Come on. Marijuana, look at idiot boy to cocaine, man. Marijuana, idiot boy to cocaine. Hey, so we have to look on it for what it is. Yeah? And we cannot have Andrew Holness as the head of state. A narcissist, a corrupted element, a dictator who will not stop at any length and breadth to destroy the citizens of his country. I want to know if Andrew want to replace black people in Jamaica with the Asian them and the Chinese. Because it seems more and more clearer to me. Yeah, that is where he's going. Because when black people don't have the common asset of having a freedom to speak in their own country, unbelievable. When certain of our sovereignty has been taken away, unbelievable. Yeah? Jamaican people, you know, do not know what beach look like again unless you go swim in a alligator-infested water. That's why you can't swim now. Not privileged to your beaches anymore. And not privileged to a lot of places in Jamaica. Yeah? Remember, even Ziggy Marley had to bear some of that embarrassment. Because that's how the thing is tightly knit when it comes to discriminating black people from participating in those places. You understand? You're not welcome there. We have to choose a special day for you guys. So everything now is set in stone. And so, Jamaican people, if you don't rise up and try to retrieve the situation before it gone completely, then we're going to make a sad mistake. I yield back the floor, Sir Byron.
All right. Thank you for that melting pot. Let us get into another scamming deal of the Prime Minister. Because the Prime Minister indeed, right, is a scammer. So let us go into one of his many scamming deals. Right? Let us get into the housing project. Now, honey, look at this. We are only showing the Prime Minister, you know, the evidence that the Prime Minister is guilty with everything that we accuse the Prime Minister of. Now, this is what the Prime Minister is selling, and look how the Prime Minister sell this project, the Edmund Ridge. You understand? So obviously, I'm asking the Prime Minister if him and Edmund Bartlett has shares in the Edmund Ridge. So look at this, people.
This housing development of Edmund Ridge, and you see the quality of the housing that is developed here. This is nothing like Operation Pride. I want to make that point clear.
People, the reason why I resort back to this clip is to show people, right, the MO, the modus operandi of Andrew Holness. That is a scammer. Andrew Holness knew very well that the material that construct this housing development, they are inferior materials. Inferior materials. So what Andrew Holness, as a normal con artist, as a big time scammer, right? as it relates to Edmund Bartlett and Edmund Ridge, shipping off these schemes, selling off these housing projects, that really and truly they spend little bit of profit on, but maximize their profit in selling an investor, right? So-called value for money. When the truth be told, the material that they use is inferior material. Look at it.
So if you compare what this government has done relative to what the previous governments have done, then you can come to the conclusion that something good are going on in a Jamaica.
You hear that? You can come to the conclusion that something good are going on. You hear the selling point? Listen to the selling point. You can come to the conclusion that something good is going on. While he knew that the materials are inferior material. Let's look on it, people. You see the reason why the Chinese have him secret? You see the Chinese behind him? The Chinese, them knows that inferior material him are using. And if you use the Chinese them to construct, you understand, these inferior material. See the Chinese they behind him, you know? They know, you understand, that really and truly the material, right, that the people them buy into, millions of dollars the people them spend. Inferior material. This is how wicked. This is how wicked this scammer is. Dangerous, you know? Dangerous. Listen to him.
Because if you compare these kinds of development to Operation Pride developments, then your conclusion would be that what was happening before was Operation.
So he make the comparison with Operation Pride, where he know very well that Operation Pride structures are much firmer than those structures, you know. But he make that comparison because to use it now as a selling point, selling inferior material, right? Wicked again to the investors, you know. Cruel to the investors, you know. This man is Satan in flesh.
And shame. And it is these developments that we are doing now that is really creating communities of pride, communities in which the homeowners feel that they have a really good investment, a really respectful investment, an investment in shelter that gives them dignity. That is why we bring these to the attention of the people. Something is happening in Jamaica. Something good is happening in housing. And as you can see today, even after the setback of COVID, we are well on our way with building out affordable housing at Edmund Ridge. This administration is the difference in housing. This administration has the plan for housing, but more than that, it is this administration that can consistently deliver housing for you.
Building affordable housing. Building affordable cardboard box. Affordable cardboard boxes to the people. For rob the people their money. To rob investors' money. You don't want it wicked on this. Now look at the next clip, my Jamaican people. Look at the next clip. This man, trust me, Jamaica, look at the structural development.
This housing development of Edmund Ridge, and you see the quality of the housing that is developed here.
Hold on, sorry.
This is nothing like Operation Pride.
Sorry for the technical glitch.
So when you look at this housing development of Edmund Ridge, and you see the quality of the housing that is developed here, this is nothing like Operation Pride.
No.
I want to make that point clear.
Yes.
So if you compare what this government has done relative to what the previous governments have done, then you can come to the conclusion that something good are going on in a Jamaica. Because if you compare these kinds of development to Operation Pride developments, then your conclusion would be that what was happening before was Operation Shame. And it is these developments that we are doing now that is really creating communities of pride, communities in which the homeowners feel that they have a really good investment, a really respectful investment, an investment in shelter that gives them dignity. So when you look at this,
pride, Jamaica want to see the community of pride. Want to see and witness the community of pride. And they are nothing, right? Operation Pride cannot compare with those homes. The trickery, the scammery, original Canatis. Look at this now. Look at this, people. Let us get into the next clip. Look at this. It's just to show you that, look, when you hear Andrew One speak, right? The only time this man doesn't speak, tell a lie, is when he's not speaking. Right? This man is dangerous. That's all I want to show to you, Jamaica. Look, play this.
Residents of estuary housing development in St. James are living in fear after a breakaway in the community, which is threatening homes and critical infrastructure. We have more in this report.
Cracks in the ground leading to a major breakaway in phase 2 of the estuary housing scheme in St. James. This has been the reality for residents following the passage of Hurricane Melissa.
It's almost like a ticking time bomb, so it's a weird feeling and a weird place to be right now.
No, many are fearing the worst, and they say when it rains, it pours.
Each time it rains, there is a breakaway. We have several videos showing the breakaway. It rained last night, early into this morning, and if you can look at the area, you see where it's fully saturated.
I can't sleep here in the night, so I have to just walk and stay by someone. I can't stay here. Because you see in this condition, it won't be safe for me.
The authorities have already began carrying out remedial work, but by all indication, it will take some time. During our visit to the community this week, we observed heavy-duty equipment on location. In the meantime, residents say they've been advised of relocation while repairs continue. Some have welcomed that news.
I think it's today they're planning to relocate us. So we hope for the best.
But for others, the temporary solution comes with its own set of challenges.
Based on the composition of my household and the items I have in my household, I don't see how I will fit in a one-bedroom unit. So I'm still in further dialogue with NHT to see how best they can cater to my specific situation.
As if living in fear was not already a task, they told us the uncertainty is adding to their stress as they wait for clear timelines and updates on the work being done.
We deserve to know exactly what is happening so we can fully prepare our mind and prepare ourselves. But I don't know what the issue is. We need representation to say what exactly is happening.
With more rain in the forecast, residents of the estuary housing development fear further erosion could make the situation even more dangerous if urgent action is not taken.
Well, Jamaica, what you have seen there, right, is exactly what Andrew Honest is doing with Jamaica economy. Trust me. You see what you have witnessed there is the very same thing Andrew Honest is doing with the economy. Let us look on this last clip and then I bring in Melting Pot.
Okay.
Let us look at this. And this man is talking about he prepared. Just look. Right? And this man is talking about
rainfall and chaos. Several communities and roadways in western Jamaica were left flooded today after heavy rains lashed the island. Up until press time, the National Works Agency NWA was urging motorists to be careful while traversing some areas. Ramarda Lyons reports.
A few hours of rain Thursday left some roads in western Jamaica looking like water parks. Motorists like this one brave forceful gushing floodwaters. In Ocean Point, Hanover, the community's name took on meaning. Several cars sit in water, the driveway and the land space unrecognizable. Some residents confined to higher grounds. In Negril, Westmoreland, similar flooding.
The infrastructure in Negril needs to be improved.
I want Jamaica to witness what Andrew Honest do with NHT, joining up with private owners, making inferior homes, damaging NHT. What you are seeing is a dead replica of what Andrew Honest is doing with the overall economy of Jamaica. Look at it.
And why do I say that? Look, population growth, climate change, new housing development, just the expansion of Negril, the old set of pipes and drains and everything can't keep up with what's happening in Negril as we speak.
Vehicles move behind him freely. Up the road, it's a different scene. One resident shudders at the thought of more rain.
The land is so saturated right now that if we get similar rainfall tomorrow, half of Negril will be underwater.
And I just want to kindly ask, don't wait to send the drain cleaning money come to clean the drains in Negril. I am kindly asking that the drain cleaning money comes earlier. I just want to say also that for last year, I've received $3 million to clean the drains in western Westmoreland. And just let me say to you, there's over 500 drains in western Westmoreland, and the majority of drains, it will only take $3 million to clean each one.
Elsewhere, this schoolboy is guided through water that's up to his waist. And for this biker, revving interrupted. Janelle Ricketts, Community Relations Officer at the National Works Agency's Western Office, says several roadways in Western Jamaica have been affected.
So in the parish of Hanover, we have this section in the vicinity of the Point community that is now heavily inundated. And for these corridors, we advise persons to be mindful that there will be significant delays as persons are not able to traverse those sections freely. In the parish of Westmoreland, we have, for example, the Norman Manley Boulevard that is now impacted by inundation. We advise commuters to exercise due care when traversing these and other sections of the roadway.
Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Why am I showing all of these things? Right, as it relates to the lies, the connery, the deceit, the scamming of Andrew Honest, damaging our economy, right? Turn NHT in his personal piggy bank. And this goes on and on and on. When you look on these things, you see the atrocity that Andrew Honest and his administration has done to Jamaica. And finally, that now he's now imposing some, harsh tax on the people. He's saying that he's making sure that he's not suffering the Jamaican people. Jamaica, listen, Jamaica. When you decided that enough is enough, is when you decided. No one can save you unless you decide to save yourself. And I bring in Melting Pot. Melting Pot.
Where I look on this, so.
All right, Melting Pot, you're closing us out. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I'm just saying that everything where we are look on in regards to these housing development don't look good. And I mean, the selling point for the propaganda was a sound bite. You understand? Yeah. Andrew Holness, just come out and him just doing PR and make him sound bite and him feel it can reach everybody and everybody can reach it. Because I see Eastbury there look like a backside mine there in the housing scheme. I see excavator the way down in our hole. I don't know if a mineral it a search for what. You understand? And I know none of Operation Pride houses them. The people have never suffered them fate there in our Hurricane Melissa. And whether or not it did reach them in a for them region, them would have still sustained life the same way as when Melissa come and when Melissa leave. Because Operation Prize houses are now mansion. They are now being, priced anywhere in the region of between 80 million and 100 million. That's how much Operation Pride has advanced. And they don't have these type of, dilapidated surrounding with water rising up above waist height and brockway and all these things. So Andrew Holness, him stab himself in his own back, Yeah, when him come out and degrade Operation Pride to be Operation Shame. Now we are looking at Edmund Ridge, a shameful development. We are looking at Ocean Pine as another shameful development. And we are looking at Eastbury as a shameful development. Yeah, and the entire housing development since Andrew Holness and whoever in charge of NHG, I them send out a little worm looking assistant general manager, named Dwayne Burbick. Yeah, him not look not like somebody, healthy, but I know not him are the right man to speak. We need the general manager, not the assistant manager. Because there's a lot of corruption between NHG entity and the government led by Andrew Holness. Here, and who up this run NHG and get kickback money. And that is scheme with them designed because Andrew Holness not supposed to have nothing to do with NHG, and NHG now have nothing to do with central government. But all of a sudden, and this guy have become 2 peas in a pod and 2 head pan pillar. You understand? Sleeping in one bed. And this is why Andrew Holness and whoever upper NHD are run it, the general manager. I mean, I want to talk to Burbick, my assistant. I'm a assistant for manager for communication and our them call him, yeah. Me name no pin title, That don't look good. This is what I say, public affairs. Him not deal with no public affairs. Him not deal with public affairs. Him not deal with a better land engineer structure to build them house there. Yeah? And if the people them know we lose them thing, are they being spoken to in the right way? NHD I look about them affair? No. Here one lady say what she have in her house can hold another 1 bedroom with an alternative measure for them. So that is not public affair. So me them want to talk to the guy the Burbick. Me want know the general manager. Him me want to talk to. Him I go on with skull double with Andrew Holness. That's why them send out Burbick to speak. The general manager gonna hide. Yeah? It's criminal activity between the government and NHT Jamaican people. Yeah, Andrew not supposed to use the people them contribution, the people them money. And I take it and put in a central government to make a budget That not supposed to happen because the people have already been taxed higher than Mount Everest. So tax supposed to run the country. No money not supposed to leave from NHT. And NHT no need for contract on a Andrew friend. Like Dexim Holding. We do no farmer development where housing is concerned. NHT must have them team of workmen. Yeah. In terms of developing housing scheme, you have your contractor general, you have your architect, and you have your team of workmen. NHT must employ them own workforce and stop coordinate with Andrew as a thieving politician, a thieving prime minister, a all criminal. Yeah, Michael Manley, yeah, who designed NHT for the people. He never have nothing. You never see Manley in a visible best and all that and look like he's a construction manager. That is what the Prime Minister doing. The Prime Minister vacate him office, you know, which has a role and responsibility to govern Jamaica on a daily, day-to-day basis. And what we say Andrew Oldis doing, Andrew Oldis is a construction developer all over the place. From out of Morant Bay, St. Thomas there, with this new plaza, to all the housing scheme that you see him go through, to everywhere you see him. The Prime Minister don't operate like that, people. Prime Minister conduct the country's affairs. Yeah? Those are not related to the country's affairs. Yeah? Those developments are related to developers. Yeah? And in such case where National Housing Trust is involved, they have their own people that carry out that work. That's not the Prime Minister's job. So this Prime Minister here, if you look at him, you see him is nothing but a load of shit. He is a pit latrine. Yeah? He is a pit latrine. You have to use all 10 bag of ashes to keep down and just smell. And just stink of corruption in the country. Stink of corruption. All over. Everything what the man do, you can't say corruption. You understand? Oh, we feel pay a Prime Minister 20 odd million a year. And him not in the Prime Minister seat. Him doing at the Prime Minister seat. We have pay a nasty House Speaker. She absent for much week. Absent for much week. Down at India carry out them own personal affair. Here, people. So when you look on the holiness, they are criminal. They must be investigated. And Jamaican people cannot wait for the investigation get off the ground. They must be arrested and investigated and charged for the high level of fraud that they have committed. Right now, Julietta build more apartments in Jamaica. You know? She have a build up some new house out of Brunswick Road near to the old Ascot Theatre before you come in up Spanish Town proper. Yeah, leaving from Bagua. Between 45 to 50, building them in 2 phases. And I hear she have a new development down in a whole harbor as well. And she have 3 up a lease plot. And them have many more, and them have trucks, them have all so much things, them have shell company. Yeah, warm to them 2 couple of them cannot be defeated. Jamaican people are won't not do, man. Won't not do. Who have the power, Andrew shithouse man, Juliet, them not have no power. The people have the power. The people vice stronger and them criminal vice there. Because Andrew and nobody gonna do. No swear Andrew gonna phone the money. You think would I take up my 20 million by them little inundated, non-descriptive house where Andrew sell? Because them then are no looks to them, you know. Them then are no looks to them. Them they are non-descriptive. I also have a bill with architectural design. For them the money there. Them they are full cube, dark kennel, Andrew put on in there. I want to can't see. Stop spending the money with NHT, man. Because NHT are criminal, you know. Until the head of NHT roll. Yeah, and go to prison, this current head of NHT. Don't buy them house. Save the money, get a piece of land and building a structure cheaper. It's be a criminal activity going on between the head of NHT, National Housing Trust, and the government of Jamaica led by Andrew Wallace. This is why dead sim holding rob them. Friend rob friend. Guys, a friend thing I want. When did NHT find itself a part of the government, central government? When? It never happened under Mama P. Never happened under Michael Manley. And it never happened under Percival James Pattison. Someone know all of a sudden. And it never happened under Bruce Colin either. This just for show you how criminal-minded Andrew Holness is. That him look over NHT and say, I want for money over there, so sit down. And tap in to this guy where I run the entity. And him in a bed of sleep. And I make decision. And I'll know Andrew can deliver upon the 1,400 houses. Him cut it down to 70,000. I'll know. Yeah? 140,000 houses first, you know, when them come in 2016, you know. And him reduce it to 70,000. And I'll know him can't reach the target. But yet still house a bill all over the place. All over the place. You understand? But them down a poor people house. But a NHT money I fund them. Yeah? We know things and time change, you know. Yeah, and currency lose value and thing. But at the same time, yeah, based on where poor people are get for salary, you cannot put them house there out there to sell poor people. Poor people just cannot manage those money. So NHT has moved away from what its intended purpose is for, to build housing solution at affordable price to poor people. To now building cardboard and all type of housing solution to high price. Yeah, because when you have a criminal walk through your community become infested with criminality. And from Andrew walk through NHT has fallen down on its face because of the high level of participation with a criminal prime minister making criminal plans for housing trust money that the government should not have any Latin part with. This is the same man when Mama P went over there the first time and Mama P had no other alternative at the time. He make a hula baloo. Now him live on it. Call it annual contribution of 11.4 million at that title later get now, you know, God Almighty, this hospital made a pay me. Eh? Oh, you feel reconcile to NHT money as annual contribution of 11.4 billion dollars to central government. So we want to know you don't have no other entity we can give money. Why is NHT money? Because I know say NHT money is a money that does not have any farmer social service to provide or to offer than just housing. And where housing is concerned, we don't have to build a house every day. Can't hold off on building some house, but we can't use the money to do what? So what is the real total cost of the budget then? Because it don't look like it there at the 1.3 now. I'm on 1.3. Because I sure know the budget with them project is based on what they know they have to collect out there in tax. Yeah? So them deal with a supplementary budget when them put it out there. Knowing to the fact that Big Mama wore 1.5 billion and I'm supposed to go for that from Big Mama. Me know me forget that from Big Mama this year. I me not get the whole light, me know me can't get less than 3/4 of that 1.5 billion. Some would have used that and would have go over there so some more boy was some money. Andrew him have himself knows so I'm supposed to put in more than 1.5 billion for him a rob Jamaica taxpayers. So at that we call now with them do fiscal supplementary budget. Yeah? And then project them thing. But no money now collect from the entity them, the big entity. And the poor people alone are pay. Live on the motorist them. Man can buy tire. And you take the motorist them tire money, you know. And then charge them for ball tire with them examiner them out there. Eh? You know, see this guy evil and wicked. And you take housing out of poor people and yeah, so that's why you see the high scale of corruption and the high scale of illegal activity have exist in Jamaica. Because Jamaica with its low wage capacity. Oh, yeah, build them house there. A low salary run Jamaica, that's why the nurse them have to run and the teacher them can no money no there Jamaica. Several people have to go through the border can no don't you build them price houses there. Who have to buy them? I know people who get them, and I use them as Airbnb, But right now, things don't look good for them people. If one gentleman, a Ocean Pine, a Airbnb, him do fit him, all them carry them in 3 car, them gone. Yeah. So the system is just rotten to the core. And Andrew get to it so much thing. It's appalling. Why as Jamaican people come out in their droves and stand up for them equal rights and justice? When Mama P and Manley and Patterson build houses, you never see them problem, yeah? But, cock mouth always kill cock, And right now, the joke is on Andrew Willis. Egg all over him face, up the shit over him face. When him run out and talk about Edmund Rich house, then. A class house to Operation Pride. Operation Pride, Operation Shame. And film thing them show you say things are gone in a Jamaica. Piece of shit. Big nasty old dirty pit latrine. For your Prime Minister. There's a latrine that want about 10 bag of ashes for all of your garbage corruption smell. Yes, your corruption smell stink up the whole of Jamaica and extended through the whole of the Caribbean. You see the people I'm afraid of you in the Caribbean. Afraid of your government and your administration. That's me, I'm have to make them know so she not deal with them type of people. For your party are the People's National Party. Democratic Socialism. Up to the Caribbean, the people are afraid of CIA and Andrew philosophy. And that's why we are telling the Caribbean people, stop make Andrew come around now in a place and spread the gospel of United States and its CIA affiliate. The region must be democratic socialists. Yeah, a socialism for run the Caribbean. Yeah, we have lost so much to capitalism already. It's time we stop giving away our sovereignty to capitalist country like United States.
Amen.
And protect democratic socialism, which is for the skin color of the people in the Caribbean. You understand? Run with Andrew Wallace when him coming out of the place where I come speak on behalf of United States. Because that Trump I use him for right now, because I'm compromised. Trump have Andrew Wallace as the missionary for the mission of the CIA in the region. And at time, I tell the people, I know some people on the island to listen. Yeah. Run with the shit house when him coming out of the place. As a matter of fact, don't grant him no invite. Him is a shit. You understand what I say? Him and no other state to carry come. Him a garbage, him a sell out carry come to United States and Donald Trump. So if you don't understand what I say, yeah, things are going to be tough. Just check what me and Matley do. That's why she get the 130 nil, And reaffirm and realign democratic socialism in the region. And me and Matley are the one of the strongest leader in the region right now. Kudos to Michael Man, the philosophy where she learned. Because man, the philosophy teacher. You understand? She get all detention when she go to school, Just for real man the book when you're Manly and the new way. Let me tell you people. That's why me and Matley becomes a stalwart in the political landscape in the region. Andrew a shithouse. When me and Matley can rush United States, Andrew have a quat and queen and squint like a old nasty mangy dog. Ruby will kick him underneath him belly and say, get rid of the Cuban doctor, they were nurse. He have to do it like a old Lapia's mongrel dog. Andrew a mongrel in the Caribbean. Me and Matley are pedigree the politics in the region. And it's all down to the manly philosophy here. So all who want to fool themselves with CIA and capitalism and the Labour Party, them, Labour is pain. Whether you work or you're pregnant, you go through pain as it relates to the word Labour. I yield back the floor to you, Sir Lord Byron.
All right. So my sisters and brother, that's where we are going to call it a night. Right. Once again, I want to say big thanks, right, for you to continue to support us. Right. We really appreciate that. So let me just hand over to Wifey for Wifey to close us out. Yes.
Hey guys, thank you as usual. Really appreciate each and everyone's support, and thank you to those who recently joined the membership. Really appreciate the extra support to the channel. Please tune into all the other platforms that is spreading the message and trying to get our country in the right direction and get good leadership for our people. And have a wonderful and blessed weekend. And until we see you again on Tuesday, take care, keep blessed, and safe travel on the gravel. One love.
All right. Melting pot.
What's up, melting
Blessings.
pot?
All right.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right side of that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.